It works, it works. Hi Bear, how's it going? I'm back doing art. I kinda don't want to, but my pen is working and I need to finish this for Mali. And I'm in pain, but hey. Hi Sammy, good to see you. Good to see you too. Now you didn't join at the end of the stream. Today we're gonna draw the remaining two chibis for Mali that he asked for like months ago. I just haven't been able to finish them because the freaking file got like corrupted or something, so I lost half of them, and then I didn't like one of them, so I deleted it and redid it. And then my pen is stopped. It stops working for a while after a few hours or something, and then it doesn't want to work for a few days. So yeah, can you say I'm alive? I think I checked the yeah. The being alive is what matters the most, apart from having money. Yeah. So yeah. And while I draw, we're gonna have what is this? What did I say? It's the history of creepypastas, horror history, because I was really into creepypasta when I was younger. I don't know why or how. Oh yeah, it was because of those uh quizzes that you could do, and at the end they gave you like an answer, right? I used to do the which serial killer loves you, or your love story with a serial killer, creepy pasta something. And the pictures they used for some killers, let's just say I had a crush on Jeff the Killer, okay? So yeah, I was into creepypastas for a while. I also found this is not new, but I found what was his name? Slenderman. Very attractive for a while, for some reason. So we're gonna watch the history of creepypasta. Because I honestly don't know the story. I was just fangirling and fantasizing about a love story with a bad boy, with a serial killer. So yeah, okay, I need to get to the drawing. Let's just
In March
start.
2001, an Angel Fire blog caught, well, fire, thanks to a story about
Hopefully
a
the
Chinese cave
audio's
explorer named Ted.
good.
The tale unfolded.
Let me see. Uh, turn it up.
Through a series of diary-style
It's so
updates
loud.
where Ted shared his
Okay.
exploits in real time
No,
as
I
he and
think
another
that's too
explorer
loud.
descended a narrow passage he called Floyd's Tomb, named after a fellow adventurer, Floyd Collins, who had died in
I think that's
1925
better.
after getting trapped underground. At first, the entries were dry and uneventful. Measurements of the tunnel, notes about equipment, and a few grainy snapshots of rock walls. Just text on a webpage and a handful of photos that read like a working caver's log. Then the tone shifts.
Okay.
Ted hears strange noises echoing in the dark. Inhuman screams that send his imagination into a frenzy. He half expects to brush up against the face of a demon hiding just out of sight. Later, the cave gets tighter, the air goes rancid, and the rotting smell of death fills his nostrils. Ted's partner panics, but things get really dicey on one excursion when their climbing rope is pulled back into the void by an unseen hand. Readers weren't sure if they were following a rescue mission unfolding in real time or falling for an elaborate hoax, but they kept refreshing the page, desperate for answers to the mysteries that had been described. The story ends abruptly, with Ted hinting at one more future trip to the cave, with a promise to update the
Wait, I need to read that. What does it say? Wait. Okay, I must I feel that I have a choice. I must return for my family and friends who are reading this. I say, be at peace. I will conquer this cave. Then I will return and update this website immediately. I will include any photos we take in the cave today, and if you stop by the house, I will show you the video I will have. I expect to be home later tonight, or tomorrow at the latest. See all of you soon, with a lot of answers. Love.
Then I will return and update this website immediately.
Someone.
That update never came. In the end, the story turned out to be nothing more than a compelling piece of fiction, but it blurred the
I think
lines
I've heard
between
about
fact
this
and
one before.
fantasy so well that it inadvertently created the blueprint for a new brand of horror. Ted the Caver was different from the urban legends that had been passed down throughout human existence. It wasn't spread over a campfire or after lights out at a sleepover. It was perhaps the first such story
I
to
don't
gain
know,
its
I'm gonna
infamy
draw the
digitally.
angry one.
It's widely considered to be the beginning of a trend that came to define horror on the early internet. Years later, we would give those stories a name: creepypasta.
You're 12 years old again. It's past your bedtime. You're hiding underneath your blanket, listening for your parents' footsteps in the hallway, knowing that you're not gonna get any sleep tonight because you're reading creepypastas.
And let me tell you, boys,
Yeah.
in this case, the truth is a whole hell of a lot stranger than fiction.
We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest inner mind.
Whoa.
Creepypasta infection spread all over the internet.
Morgan handed me the knife. Go ballistic. Go crazy.
The
The girls said they were trying to mimic a horror story character on a website called Creepypasta.
You think you know about the bad things?
But they
and you
had
decide
a
that you have
website?
it all figured
What?
out, but you don't. Because the truth is worse than monsters or men.
Welcome to Horror History. I know I'm overdue for this episode of Horror History, but hey, you can't
What?
really overcook pasta. Creepypasta can be best described as a modern evolution of humanity's original
Raspberry,
form of
hi.
entertainment, storytelling by oral tradition. Back in our
How's it
species'
going?
cave-dwelling days,
Thank
tall
you
tales
for
were
the
created to
sub.
excite, frighten,
8 months,
and
oh my
ultimately
goodness.
educate the audience about the hidden dangers
How's
of
it
the world. Many
going?
historians believe cryptids like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster to have originally been stories created by parents to keep kids safe from large wild animals.
We're
When
drawing
law and
today.
religion emerged,
I'm
these stories
struggling.
became morality plays and cautionary tales dressed as ghost stories. The Man with the Hook warns teenagers about the perils of sneaking
I
off to
can't
Lover's
draw.
Lane. Bloody Mary punished those who dabbled in the supernatural. As technology became a part of our lives, scary stories were there to warn of the potential dangers, like The Babysitter and The Man Upstairs, which told of an eerie phone call from a stranger and reminded us to stay vigilant because sometimes danger comes from inside the house. These stories used fear as a mechanism for survival training, and some of them were so effective they ended up being passed across generations. In the
I
21st
hope
century,
it-
those
have you
lessons
taken
didn't
some
vanish,
medicine for a
they
headache?
mutated.
Hope it goes
Instead of
away
fireside
soon.
circles or whispered dares, we passed around digital ghosts. Blogs blurred reality until you couldn't tell where the facts ended and the
Never
nightmare
fun
began.
with
Chain
the
emails
headaches.
became curses with ominous messages like pass this on or die. These were the internet's first viral horror hoaxes. I don't know what's scarier, the threat of dying in your sleep because you only forwarded that death hoax email to 9 friends, or getting chewed out by your parents because you surfed the web for too long and tied up your family's phone line with your dial-up internet.
Oh my
connection.
god,
I'm
wait. Those links that used to be like, send this to 7 friends, otherwise this will happen to you. I used to believe them. So I would find like, not even friends, I would find 7 or whatever number family members and send them to them because I was scared. I didn't send them to friends because they were very judgmental. Honestly, I didn't really consider them friends. But yeah, I believed them until I was like, wait a second. This is fake. The only painkillers I have are the caffeine-free ones, and they don't. Oh no. You don't have normal painkillers. No, that you must have that always. That's something you have to have. Let's see what can help for a headache. I was gonna say tea, but no, tea doesn't help. That's for the throat, for the head. Damn, I don't. No, I don't know. Sleep helps. Maybe? I don't know.
Genuinely asking because I grew up with cable internet. I don't know the answer to that question. But reaching its
Oh
peak in the
god,
mid
I hate that one.
creepypasta became
Right.
the de facto folklore of an entire generation
I
who grew up
figured
with the
out
internet
the
playing a
most-
major part of their social lives and their
Interesting.
discovery
Oh
of
yeah, there is a
content.
limit,
It was
right?
one of the biggest, if not the biggest topic in the online horror media landscape.
Hate
But
them.
it came to be a prime example of the classic idiom. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. So what was
I
the story with
hate that there is
creepypasta?
a
To fully
limit.
understand the scope and scale of the creepypasta phenomenon, we have to go all the way back to the dark ages of the internet, the mid-1990s.
1990s?
In the 90s, the web was a patchwork of GeoCities homepages and Usenet groups. From what I understand, Usenet was a decentralized bulletin board system where people posted messages called articles, which were then filtered into categories called news groups. Think of it like a prehistoric Reddit, minus the upvotes and power-hungry moderators. Usenet frequenters discussed and debated everything under the sun, from NFL stats to the policies of politicians to dating advice and even wild conspiracy theories about the JFK assassination. I guess some things on the internet never change. While academics used it to argue over the latest research, casual users pioneered the first memes before they were called memes, coined internet slang.
Now we've all seen them. Let's go ahead and take a look. LOL, laugh out loud, BRB, be right back.
Makeup palette.
Talk to you later.
For 2 makeup palette for £23. What? What? That's great. What the heck? Sorry, makeup, so I haven't really used it, but it's fine, okay? You don't have to be good at makeup to have makeup, okay? I have like a full bag of makeup that's only for show because they were like collaborations with different cartoons and they look cute. You don't have to be good at makeup to have it. If it was cheap, might as well get it. Exactly. Just like, yeah, don't need to be good at something to have it. It's good to have stuff, you know.
Trailblazers to engage in flame wars, an endless cycle of insults and arguments that are still a cornerstone of internet culture today.
Such a good price.
Mostly for worse. Amid this pixelated playground of clashing ideas and online shenanigans, horror carved out its own tune, with a handful of Usenet forums in particular laying the groundwork for what would later become creepypasta.
I am not used to drawing anymore. One is like all the purples and the other has nice blues and oh. Those are some nice colors.
In the early days of the internet, Usenet forums like alt.folklore.urban became the central spot for dissecting and debunking urban legends, while alt.horror was a catch-all horror hub where people traded scary stories and posted any scraps of horror content they could dig up. There were also subgroups like alt.horror.cthulhu, for example, which just focused on Lovecraftian horror. The most relevant Usenet group for this video had to have been alt.horror.creative, which was a hub for original horror fiction online, making it a proto-creepypasta breeding ground where writers posted rough stories and other users piled on with edits, additions, or entirely new spins. It was chaotic, unmoderated, and anonymous, which gave the stories a raw, collaborative energy that you couldn't find in a bookstore. Instead of one person telling a scary tale around the fire, it was 50, or maybe more. Each voice could interrupt, add details, and argue about what really happened. Scary stories have always had a way of changing over time as the telephone effect caused details to skew with each retelling, but on the internet it was happening in real time. One of the first legends that felt truly new came from a print journalist in Abilene, Texas in 1996. According to his story, Brian Bethel sat in his car outside a strip mall after finishing a late shift at the local paper. While writing a check to pay his cable bill, that's how you know it took place in 1996, the hairs on his neck suddenly stood on edge. He looked up from his checkbook and noticed a group of teenagers standing next to his car. They knocked on the window, asking for a ride to their mom's house to get money to buy a movie ticket. On paper, the request seemed innocent enough, but Brian became uneasy when he considered two strange details. The movie they wanted to see had already started 45 minutes earlier, and in the dim light of the parking lot, he noticed that their eyes were completely black. Which would probably be more concerning than the movie thing, but that's just me. One of the teens leaned in and said, "We can't come in unless you tell us it's okay." Bethel sped away in a hurry, terrified. Glancing back through his rearview mirror, the teens had completely vanished. When he got home, the reporter did what came naturally. He wrote down every detail of the encounter.
I shared it initially with a small group of people on a listserv back in the day, you know, the email lists that had to do with paranormal accounts, and then it kind of got out from there. And then as it proliferated, this became, I guess you would call it, an early viral sensation, even before we had the terminology.
To this day, Bethel swears that the Black Eye Kids are as real as anything he's ever experienced in his life. Whether you buy his story or not, I do not, what's undeniable is that his account sparked one of the first true online horror sensations.
Those things actually exist, I believe, that those black eye people exist, and I think they were like, I don't remember, like, children of the, I don't remember, but yeah, I have heard stories. Yeah, black-eyed children, there it is. Yeah, I believe they exist.
A fire that continues to burn to this day, with interest in the topic peaking in 2013. It burns especially bright in the UK, where headlines about black-eyed kids have been splashed across the front pages of prominent British tabloids on several occasions. Like every good myth, each retelling, no matter where it comes from, tweaks the original recipe. In some versions, the kids knock on front doors, asking to use the phone or the bathroom, while others have them begging for candy on Halloween night, always with the same...
Oh gosh, that's creepy. Oh, timing. Reminds me, because if you hear someone knock on your door and then there is no one there and you open the door, that's pretty much like inviting evil in, right? I'm so stupid. I know that. I've always known that. And not too long ago, I heard someone knock on my door at like 2 a.m. and I don't know why the heck I thought it was my brother, because he lives in the apartment above mine. So I was like, oh, maybe it's him. Okay, then I opened the door and there was no one there. And I was like, no one is there. Okay. And then days later, I'm like, oh, fuck. I need to, I don't know, purify the place now. And I haven't done it since. But apparently, nothing has happened, so I'm okay. But like, I'm stupid. Never open the door at night, especially if you're knocking, because you're inviting evil in.
Refrain. Let us in. The collaborative nature of the web meant that anyone could claim it, reshape it, or swear it had happened to them. If you're like me, you've probably never heard Brian's version of the story in his car, but are still very familiar with black-eyed children. And that speaks to how it became a communal legend. It's less about one story and more about the impact that it had on everyone, the surefire sign of a classic. Dreadnought and Fright.com pushed the concept further, offering interactive episodic horror stories. Dreadnought's most unsettling creation was a story about the Evers family, whose son Toby mysteriously vanished after leaving his computer class. What begins with his mother and a private investigator sifting through his school locker quickly spirals into something much stranger. The narrative weaves in cult leaders, biblical scripture, and even angelic figures that hint at a supernatural culprit behind the boy's disappearance. Told through shifting points of view, the story forced readers to stitch together fragments like evidence in a case file, grounding its horror with real names and recognizable locations. Fright.com's standout tale was called E-Leech, a cyberpunk nightmare framed through the diary entries and chat logs of a teenage hacker named Iona, who attempts to tap into data collected by NASA's Galileo probe, but accidentally uncovers a sentient alien computer virus that eats network storage space, replicates endlessly, and can transmit itself directly into the human brain through flickering computer screens. The story occasionally links to the real NASA website, upping user immersion and adding a real sense of danger to anyone exploring Iona's logs. And considering how many people I see falling for scams and misinformation on the modern internet, maybe more of you need to get scared straight by this story about digital brain implantation. Sadly, neither site survives today, but their influence is unmistakable. They showed early users how the internet wasn't just a tool for sharing scary stories, it could be a medium itself. Something that creepypasta would later embrace. But don't break out the strainer and red sauce quite yet, because these stories had the creepy, but they didn't quite have the pasta. In other words, they were basically confined to certain communities. They didn't have that viral spread, and they, for the most part, didn't leave readers convinced that their stories were real. The cauldron was not truly set for creepypasta until 1999, the year of a little $60,000 horror movie called The Blair Witch Project.
How's it going? Oh my god.
Being on such a limited budget, the PR firm promoting the movie set up a bare-bones website, BlairWitch.com, which appeared to visitors as nothing more than a digital archive. The site was filled with missing person flyers, mock police reports, fabricated interviews, and folklore about a witch in the Maryland woods. All of it was invented for the movie, crafting a tale of these three indie filmmakers who went missing while making a documentary and requiring the viewer to see their found footage movie to learn what happened to them. But to anyone stumbling across these web pages by happenstance in 1999, it felt like you were reading leaked case files never meant for public
Sleepy and suffering. Why are you suffering?
Nothing like this had been done before, and people generally believe the things that I read about due to the accuracy and verification standards that legacy media used to have. The Blair Witch site drew over 20 million visitors before the film hit theaters, a staggering number for the time and even today. Many ticket holders walked into the movie convinced that Heather, Josh, and Mike were actually missing. That viral buzz, powered almost entirely by its guerrilla marketing campaign, propelled the Blair Witch Project into a full-blown cultural phenomenon. That campaign is often cited as the true precursor to creepypasta, because it proved the power of belief by letting audience participation do the heavy lifting, and it showed that people had an appetite for this kind of raw, grassroots horror. And despite the Blair Witch Project becoming the most successful movie ever for a decade there, looking at the ratio of budget to box office gross, the internet served that hunger better than Hollywood ever could. The place
I
thrived
know
on
it's cheap, but I
anonymity and
don't like
unverified
them.
information. As the 2000s dawned and message boards became the
Chubby
new digital town square,
head
another
makes him
important
look
cultural
weird,
phenomenon
must
occurred.
die.
On message boards, users traded posts they called copy pasta, a literal
Copy.
portmanteau for media copied and pasted all over the internet. According to all known laws of aviation, there's no way that a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat
headphones.
little body off the ground. The
Dog
bee,
mom.
of course, flies
Use
anyway,
headphones.
because bees don't care what humans think is impossible. I'll have you know that I graduated top of my class in the Navy SEALs, and I've been involved in numerous secret raids on Al-Qaeda, and I have over 300 confirmed kills.
What are
These
you
copy
talking about,
pastas took
bee?
many forms,
No, wait, that
from
was a
bizarre
SEAL,
blocks
right?
of distorted letters with hidden messages called Zalgo text, to
That's
snippets of
okay,
internet
'cause I need to
comments,
see the
usually
hair.
mocking someone who thinks they're hot shit. Engaging as they were, anonymous one-offs could only take the subgenre so far. If these digital
You
campfire
know
tales
who's
were ever
hot?
going to leave the message
Leon Kennedy! Leon S. Kennedy! Oh my god! Resident Evil Requiem. Oh my god. I will confidently say, I will confidently call Leon Daddy Leon. Like, oh my god. No, I haven't played it. It's too expensive. It's expensive, but I've seen like bits of the game. But like, oh my god, he looks so good, and he's 51. Like, yeah, and he's married. He's married, and they say he's married to Ada, and I have nothing against that. Like, that's one of the best chips. And the whole Resident Evil. But yeah, like, oh my god, he looks so good. Like, he aged like fine wine. Yeah, call me a simp if you want. I admit that I am simping, but like, Leon was my first game crush, okay? He was the first game character I simped for, okay? So I will forever simp for Leon. Daddy Leon.
boards and hit the main stage, they needed more than quick jolts of fear. They needed genre icons. Two early web stories helped point the way forward, the first of which was Ted the Caver in 2001. I already dove into Ted's story at the top of this video, pun intended. The claustrophobic Angel Fire blog blurred fact and fiction so convincingly, readers weren't sure if they were following a real-life disaster or an elaborate hoax. Its abrupt ending, with no resolution or definitive answers, only deepened the mystery and cemented its reputation. It's generally cited as the first ever creepypasta, even though the term creepypasta didn't exist yet. Which is certainly debatable, since genre is subjective and the internet is endless, but it did establish many mainstays of the movement, like first-person narrative, mimicry of an existing format, in this case diary logs, fact-fiction ambiguity, viral shareability, and a good old cliffhanger ending. Earlier examples on Dreadnought or Fright.com were mostly understood to be fiction, since the stories contained written by credits like that of a fictional novel. Despite not being much of a horror fan himself, author Ted Hedgeman is thrilled with his story's enduring legacy, even if his embellished spelunking diary was never meant to start a revolution.
It was getting thousands of views over time, so I knew people were reading it, but I really had no idea how they were finding it, or so I just did Google searches and just found tons and tons of forums where people were talking about it. I was just grinning from ear to ear the whole time because I had no idea.
Also, I think the next Resident Evil we're gonna get is for Chris.
Created by Eric Heiserer, the future screenwriter who would eventually pen the films Arrival and Bird Box, the story began as a chain of emails between friends investigating a mysterious house tied to several disappearances. Unlike Ted, the story wasn't confined to a single page. The Dianea house forced readers to chase clues scattered across blogs, websites, and chat logs, piecing together the timeline like, well, me. If horror history existed back then, this would have made an excellent episode. The amateur detectives reading the story would eventually make a chilling discovery. The house was alive. It lured people inside with the promise of shelter, and then ate them.
What the?
Okay, it definitely is creepier when it's only told through environmental storytelling. Heiserer said he came up with the idea during a late-night, insomnia-fueled Discovery Channel binge, which I'm pretty sure is how Wendigoon also gets his ideas. Heiserer was fascinated by footage of carnivorous plants, particularly the Venus flytrap. known scientifically as Dionea muscipula. In an interview with Go Into the Story, he said, "The narrator was describing the flytrap, which looks actually very different from my initial idea of what the plant looks like. I had sort of like the Little Shop of Horrors picture in my head. In reality, it's this massive coffee table-sized plant full of tiny little pod-like mouths, hundreds of them." The narrator said something like, "disguised as shelter for insects." That phrase stuck in my brain and made me think, wait, what if those aren't houses? What if we're the insects here? Coincidentally, I've been obsessed with Venus flytrap videos as of late. There are all these channels who experiment with putting various bugs into the trap and seeing if they can escape. Now I know how the Roman spectators felt in the Colosseum. This is cinema. Stories like Ted the Caver and the Dionea House expanded the perception of what online horror could do, but the budding subgenre still didn't have a name. Somewhere between 2005 and 2007, users began calling these eerie stories creepypasta, a portmanteau of creepy and copypasta. The label stuck almost instantly. Within a few short years, creepypasta had become the internet's default banner for viral scary stories. But with no central archive, these stories were scattered across Angelfire homepages and forums like Something Awful and, yes, even 4chan. Because of this, these works were painfully fragile. Entire pieces could be lost overnight when a thread was deleted. So the question became who, if anyone, would preserve this new folklore. One of the internet's most chaotic troll pits provided an answer.
Hello.
Hello.
Encyclopedia Dramatica.
Launched in 2004, Encyclopedia Dramatica is basically the Onion of Wikipedia. Instead of serious wiki articles, it was a lot of troll content, shock content, and lolcow articles. The articles tend to rip the subjects apart with edgy and offensive humor, written less to inform and more to provoke. And that it did beautifully.
Why would you do that?
The ED community revels in posting vile material, none worse than the infamous offended page. Users brave or stupid enough to visit it are treated to galleries of mutilated bodies, snapshots of STD-ridden genitalia, photos of bowel movements, and just a lot of the most disturbing body horror that you can imagine. Dramatica was also sort of a beacon for trolls looking to cause general mayhem online, like the time they posted flashing images all over the forums of the Epilepsy Foundation because every website used to have forums for some reason. The prank allegedly triggered real seizures in photosensitive users. The thing is, nobody is above getting ripped to shreds on Encyclopedia Dramatica. And when you're decimating lolcows, you have to be pretty good at archiving and keeping your receipts. And because of this, it ended up being a pretty reliable place to archive the infancy of creepypasta. Not out of respect, but of ridicule. As you can imagine, most amateur authors online didn't have the same storytelling chops as the creators of Ted the Caver or Black-Eyed Kids.
Oh my God.
Trolls being trolls, they needed a constant supply of targets to feed their venom. And so, ironically, trolling ended up saving the folklore that they set out to mock. The jesters became the involuntary museum curators. Intentional or not, preservation gave the stories time and space to mature. Because nothing on the internet was ever truly inaccessible. Readers could always dig up old tales, remix them, and then spin bold new nightmares out of familiar DNA. In that constant cycle of resurrection and mutation, creepypasta stopped being disposable content and started becoming legendary. Enter the late 2000s, an era that gave us creepypasta's first true mascots.
Ooh. Jeff the Killer, my crush.
Excerpt from a local newspaper. Ominous unknown. Killer is still at large. After weeks of unexplained murders, the ominous unknown killer is still on the rise. After little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells his story. In 2007, Jeff the Killer emerged as the poster child for edgy teen creepypasta horror. A story about a bullied boy turned sadistic murderer, immortalized by his ghost-pale skin, lidless eyes, and carved on smile. The story itself was clunky and often mocked for its lackluster writing, I am 12 and this is deep cliches, and lack of subtlety in trying to be edgy.
That's not what I fell
When
for,
he got home, his
fuck?
parents asked him how his day was, and he replied in a somewhat ominous voice.
It was a wonderful day.
But in the end, the image of Jeff endured. In most versions, Jeff is a troubled teenager, plagued by a persistent bloodlust. After his family moves to a new neighborhood, he's continually hit with what the author repeatedly describes as a weird feeling whenever things don't go his way. Following a fight at school one day, a bully sets Jeff's face on fire, leaving him permanently disfigured. But he doesn't despair. Instead, he embraces the mutilation, carving a smile-shaped scar on his own face that augments the inhuman look. His ghoulish face becomes a mask of madness, complementing an insatiable urge to kill, and a truly twisted catchphrase.
That's creepy. That face is creepy. Forget it. No, I fell in love with a freaking handsome
fan art,
Jeff
expanded
the
in
Killer,
fan fiction, and reimagined in countless retellings. He was really the first creepypasta character to transcend his source material. His popularity was so widespread that it got to the point where you could no longer tell who was mocking him and who was serious.
Oh, YouTube.
I am Jeff the Killer.
I'm finding the best clips while making this video. Thank you Pat CZ for having this idea. Hot on the heels of Jeff's explosive popularity, creepypasta.com launched in 2008, the first dedicated hub for the subgenre that had, until then, basically survived on scraps and word of mouth. Before the site's launch, posts were easily buried on disorganized message boards, lost to thread deletions, or preserved haphazardly on troll sites like Encyclopedia Dramatica. But now, like the time Olive Garden upgraded their menu, the pastas had a proper home. Categories, tags, and a submission system gave the movement shape. Jeff the Killer proved audiences would rally around a recurring character, and creepypasta.com gave those same readers a proper library. And it didn't take long for that library to find its next hot title. Does anyone remember smile.jpg?
No. Yeah, no, I haven't heard about that one.
Like the site that hosted it, the story was also released in 2008 and centered around a cursed image, a grainy photo of a nightmarish dog with human-like teeth grinning from ear to ear. Anyone unlucky enough to view it was said to be plagued by night terrors, driven insane, or even compelled to spread the image and its sickness to others. While the concept of this story is essentially no different from the chain email hoaxes that I mentioned earlier, what made smile.jpg so powerful was how its popularity was pulled by a single lo-fi still image. Unlike traditional horror, which relies on deep lore and relatable characters, this story centered around a viral artifact, an actual .jpg file you might stumble upon by chance and be tricked into opening. You see, for 15 years, I have been haunted by smile.jpg. Smile Dog comes to me in my sleep every night. I know that sounds silly, but it is true. I see the beckoning hand. I see Smile Dog. It talks to me, and I know exactly what it means. It wants me to show it to someone else. There is a narrator character, a college student telling about his investigation into the image, but we learn almost nothing about him. The story is all about his research into the image for the article that he wants to write. In the end, someone sends him the image, and he contemplates giving into his curiosity and opening it, despite knowing the danger in doing so. Almost 2 decades later, you can still feel smile.jpg's influence thanks to the 2022 horror movie Smile and its 2024 sequel slash water commercial Smile 2, both of which are about a smiling curse that compels its victims to spread it further. I can't say for sure whether the creepypasta was a direct inspiration for the movie series. There's no evidence that that's the case, but there's no denying the similarities.
I'm seeing something no one else can see.
I haven't watched it, even though I wanted to.
At me.
While smile.jpg conjured terror with a single image, the next great creepypasta, Candle Cove, leaned even harder into minimalism, centering its story on not an item, but a memory. Written by Chris Straub in 2009, Candle Cove's story was told through a simple message board thread, where strangers reminisced about an obscure children's show they half remembered from the 1970s. At first, the posts feel innocent enough. Users swap hazy recollections about the strange pirate characters or bizarre puppet designs. Then the memories get stranger. One user recalls a villain named the Skin Taker, a creature who wears a cloak made from the skin of children over his naked bones. Another poster chimes in, claiming they watched an entire episode, but the puppets did nothing but scream and cry into the camera for 30 minutes straight. Someone else mentions the Laughing Stock, a pirate ship with a hideous laugh and a massive grinning mouth that looks like it's swallowing the sea. As we get deeper into the thread, the memories become more fragmented, clashing with everything that came before. Finally, one user drops a gut punch. Their mother insisted there was no show, only static on screen. The mother remarks, "You had a big imagination with your little pirate ship." By rooting its horror in the frailty of memory and the unreliability of collective nostalgia, Candle Cove became a milestone in the lost media subgenre. Its reputation only grew when Sci-Fi dramatized the story for a 2016 season of Channel Zero, a show
Teen
with
Wolf,
excellent
Amazon Prime version. Teen Wolf. Teen Wolf was, oh my god, I remember. Wait, is Teen Wolf the one I'm thinking? Wait, I gotta search it up. Is it the one I'm thinking of? Let me see. I think Teen Wolf was the one that was so popular. Everyone was watching it. When did it come out? 2000. Yeah, okay, so 2011, right? To 2017. Yeah, I remember it was so popular. I never watched it though. I've never watched it. I don't know what it's about. I think Dana watched it. And I think she was the one that told me that the men were super handsome. But I remember that it was so popular, but I never watched it, so I don't know. To watch it for Giri, but I have no clue who that is. Let's see, Giri, who's that? Let me search him up. Gideon Emery. Okay, yeah, he handsome. His character name is I don't know. His name was in Call of Duty. Deucalion? Oh, he's an alpha! Damn, he played an alpha. There. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The first thing that came to my mind was like, and who was his omega? No, I think I'm far gone. I'm far gone. I'm way too deep into the Megaverse that I can't even take the word alpha normally in a freaking normal setting. Anyways, he has such a nice voice. Let me see. Video. Why did it open on Reddit? Okay, I need a voice.
How? By helping you find details.
Oh! Okay!
Your heart's pounding, but it's not fear, it's anger. I better know what you're thinking. Does he have something to do with Deaton's disappearance? Tell you what, if you can take the cane away from me, I'll tell you exactly where he is. Now, what do you think?
Wow, he really does have a nice voice. He voiced but oh my god, Final Fantasy names. Let's see, Val Pierre FF12. Need a picture. Ooh, he's a pretty boy. Has a gun. Okay, yeah, he's handsome. He's handsome. I think he was someone like from 14. Oh my god, wait, let me see. Gideon, Emery, Final Fantasy 14. Urian! Oh my god, he's a voice for Urianger. What? He's the voice for Urianger. Oh my god. I love Urianger. He's like there was a point where I didn't like him because he kind of betrayed the guild. But then afterwards he kind of redeemed himself because he had his reasons. And I was like, I forgive you. And then we became close and I was like, Urianger, I need help. Help me. You're like my big brother. Help me. Give me advice. And when he said he was gonna stay in the mood, I was crying. I was like, no, don't leave me. Anyways, why isn't it starting? There we go. Oh, what is this?
You know, it's strange. I kind of remember those Channel Zero episodes, but
wait, those puppet shows, I've always found them creepy. My stepfather, he sent us a Norwegian puppet show VHS tapes to learn Norwegian before we moved. When my mom put it on the TV, I was like, what the heck is this? One, I don't understand shit. I don't know how you expect me to learn from this. And two, it's so freaking creepy because Norway has trolls, right? You know, the big, giant, ugly thingy, right? I found that, and the series called, I think it was called Flåklippa, they had kind of similar vibe to the trolls and to this right here. Wait, where's my mouse here? Anyways, yeah, the on the video. And I was like, I don't want to watch these. They are scary. They are creepy. So yeah, I understand why this was part of the creepypasta.
When I tried to rewatch them for my research on this episode, all I got was 40 minutes of static. While Candle Cove contained themes relating to collective hysteria, the next breakout pasta icon may have actually been an example of mass delusion.
I said no.
Delulu. Let your Delulu become Trululu.
The viral hits kept coming all throughout 2009, including The Rake, a legend about a pale humanoid monster with dark hollow eyes, unnaturally long limbs, and knife-like fingers that resemble the tines in a garden rake, hence the name. In truth, the first Rake post actually seems to come from a WordPress blog from back in 2006, but it only has one comment, so I'm guessing it didn't really take off until it ended up on 4chan's X-board in 2009, where dozens of anonymous users swapped stories about a chalk-white monster that crouched by people's beds at night, looking to satisfy a taste for raw meat. Sometimes it just stared at you for hours, other times it shredded up its victims. Much like the black-eyed kids from the 90s, the Rake felt like it had a life outside the screen, like you might actually run into this thing if you were unlucky. A series of encounters by random people around the world feels a lot more plausible than one central story that got really popular. Though probably unintentional, the creature design drew a lot of comparisons to a creation by visual effects wizard Tom Savini, a shrieking beast with bloodshot eyes and a body that resembled a hairless white monkey. It was the centerpiece from an episode of the 80s horror anthology series Tales from the Dark Side. Savini named it Lizzie.
Yes, you're so beautiful.
What the heck?
I don't know. What am I going to do with it?
The difference with the Rake is it's taller and considerably slimmed down, in some depictions looking emaciated, which seems to be a common theme during the creepypasta era of horror. The horror monsters of the 1980s were generally kind of pudgy. You had things like the Blob, Chucky, even the likes of the Cenobites from Hellraiser and the Killer Clowns from Outer Space. There were more chins in the horror genre than there were at the food court of a Lizzo concert. One of the strongest psychological triggers for fear that I've talked about a million times on this channel is the uncanny, when our brain identifies something that isn't quite right. So, like fashion trends swinging back and forth every couple decades, it makes sense that horror trends would operate on a pendulum. Chunky monsters were in during the 80s and a bit of the 90s, so once they became common, they weren't as scary anymore, and another type of creature became the new uncanny. Something more willowy. Some might even say slender. Unleashed on the web in June 2009 on the Something Awful forum, Slenderman began his unnatural life as part of a Photoshop contest.
I don't know why I found Slenderman attractive.
So
Maybe it's a suit. I don't know.
User Eric Knudsen, no, not the same Eric Knudsen who played Daniel
But at the
Matthews
same time,
in
it
Saw
was
2.
scary.
You said that you've played before and you survived.
Yeah.
So that means we could survive.
Yeah.
Submitted 2 black and white photos under the username Victor Surge. Lurking in the background of each image was an unnaturally tall, faceless figure in a dark suit with impossibly long limbs. A stalker of children. He named it the Slender Man. Knudsen said his intent was to make a character whose motivations can barely be comprehended, something that caused unease and terror in a general population. The caption included in his original photo read, "We didn't want to go, we didn't want to kill them, but its persistent silence and outstretched arms horrified and comforted us at the same time." The other caption provided some context. One of 2 recovered photographs from the Sterling City Library blaze, notable for being the day which 14 children vanished and for what is referred to as the Slender Man. Deformity cited as film defects by officials. Fire at library occurred 1 week later. Actual photograph confiscated as evidence. 1986, photographer Mary Thomas, missing since June 13th, 1986. Knudsen caught lightning in a bottle, igniting an almost instant frenzy. Within days, countless users flooded the forum, eager to carry the baton. They added more photos, created fake newspaper clippings, and contributed their own stories about eerie run-ins with the Slender Man. Other users layered new attributes onto the character. One iteration had tentacles sprouting from his back, others endowed him with powers of invisibility, teleportation, and a mind-shattering slender sickness. And many more argued over his height, which could range anywhere from 7 feet to 15 feet depending on the author. They crafted new names too, like the Tall Man, the Thin Man, Slendy, the Pale One, and the White King. Those last two hit a little too close to home. The collaborative floodgates had opened wide, with thousands of anonymous hands contributing to a living legend that transcended the genre, paving the way for Slenderman-inspired media that traveled well beyond the form and gave birth to a new horror icon. Just 10 days after the character's introduction into the world, 3 film students took to YouTube where they unveiled Marble Hornets, an alternate reality found footage web series based on the mythos of Slenderman. Created by Troy Wagner, Joseph DeLage, and Tim Sutton, Marble Hornets begins with a deceptively simple hook. Aspiring director Alex Crayley abruptly abandons his student film after a series of bizarre events. He hands the raw tapes to his friend Jay and urges him to burn them. Without a word of explanation, Alex moves to a different town and doesn't speak to his friend again. 3 years go by before Jay works up the nerve to review the footage. When he finally hits play, he's confronted with grainy, shaky clips from a project gone horribly off the rails, distorted audio, jumps of static, and a mysterious, faceless figure called the Operator. Jay uploads the footage online in hopes that viewers can help him piece together the mystery. After a series of entries goes public, an anonymous side channel called To The Ark posts cryptic in-universe messages, containing obscure images and not-so-subtle threats from figures in masks, who fans have dubbed Hoodie and Masky respectively. Messages like, "Stay home, be alone," and "You caused this, you will never be forgiven, he will lead me to you." Despite the comments being disabled for each of these uploads, fans created their own spaces where they obsessively dissected each frame like sacred text, desperate to solve the Marble Hornets puzzle. The series contained 87 entries over a time span of exactly 5 years. This, more than anything, solidified Slenderman's position on top of the creepypasta pyramid. The series has over 100 million views, and it's a genuine masterclass in found footage horror, drawing praise from famed film critic Roger Ebert and even getting a DVD release. I personally followed the channels at the time, and the videos followed the tradition of text-based creepypasta stories by releasing them sporadically, as if the creator was finding them in real time. Sometimes the cadence was daily, sometimes we were left without an update for months. By the end of 2009, creepypasta connoisseurs were eating good. The subgenre had gone from scattered curiosities to celebrated characters with mainstream potential. It was a banner year by any measure, but with this added visibility came volatility. The next decade would put this new age folklore to the test. Could creepypasta survive the mainstream spotlight, or would it be consumed by it?
I don't know. Did it survive?
By 2010, young authors inspired by the likes of Jeff and Slendy wanted in on the creepypasta craze. Creepypasta.com was great for reading and archiving the best stories, but lacked the things that make internet horror so unique: interactivity and multimedia. In response, fans launched the Creepypasta Wiki, a community-driven site that democratized the genre by allowing anyone to participate. Where the .com was curated like a library, the wiki was more like a workshop, where you could upload, rate, and expand on the lore of existing characters. Almost immediately, that open-door policy paid off. 2010 saw a flood of brand new era-defining pastas, stories that showed just how far the genre could stretch once the whole community was allowed to experiment. One of the most enduring of that, or any year, was the Russian sleep experiment. Framed as a declassified Soviet-era document, the story recounts how 5 political prisoners were sealed in an airtight chamber and dosed with experimental gas designed to keep them awake for 15 days. At first, the subjects became irritable, then deranged, then utterly inhuman. Some shriek for hours until their vocal cords tear. Others smear feces on the chamber walls. They later turn violent, mutilating themselves in grotesque ways, eating one another, and whispering about the evil that lurks inside every human mind.
We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be freed at every moment in your deepest animal mind.
When soldiers finally entered the chamber to remove the test subjects, they were ripped apart. The few survivors didn't end up lasting long after that. I've never been a huge Russian sleep experiment fan, but it certainly struck a chord with a lot of people, probably due to the format. It's written in a deadpan, mock documentary style, and the story reads like it could have been a legitimate Cold War report lifted from Soviet archives. A text-based story wields a unique power. It lets the reader's imagination conjure horrors far more terrifying than anything explicitly described. There's a fear in the unknown. Stripping away characters and subjectivity from the writing increases the unknown a little bit more, allowing the reader's mind to fill in even more gaps with their own darkest fears. Another medium that takes advantage of this is gaming. In the 2000s, several games took advantage of environmental storytelling. The Metroid Prime trilogy is a great example. Instead of delivering lore in cinematic cutscenes, the game has you scanning objects and reading captain's logs from space pirates on computer screens. But the biggest horror moments in the world of creepypasta came from a different pair of Nintendo franchises, the first being from my favorite gaming franchise.
Which one? Mario? Oh, Legend of Zelda had one?
Another viral hit from 2010, Ben Drowned was about a cursed copy of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Written by college student Alex Hall, otherwise known by his online handle, Jadusable, Ben Drowned inadvertently kicked off the haunted game craze that eventually saw the rise of Sonic.exe, which I covered at length in another video.
Yeah,
that
one I know.
The story begins with a college sophomore cruising garage sales for deals on Nintendo 64 games. During his search, he's drawn to a strange house with ink blot paintings on a table, one of which looks eerily close to Majora's Mask. Already uneasy, his discomfort spikes when he meets the owner of the home, an old man with a crooked smile, blind in one eye. The narrator desperately wants to bolt, but he shoves down his discomfort long enough to score a bootleg copy of Majora's Mask for free. On his way out, he says thanks to the old man, who says, "Goodbye, Ben," in reply. The narrator assumes he misheard, or maybe the old man has a grandson named Ben and his senile mind mixed them up. When he gets home and boots up the game, he discovers the lone save file labeled Ben. At a glance, he notes that Ben's progress stalled before finishing the Stone Tower Temple, which is the last main dungeon before the end of the game. The narrator starts a fresh save and labels it Link, but the game kinda tweaks out on him. Music plays in reverse, and NPCs say the wrong lines. Sometimes they call him Link, other times it's Ben. Later in the game, you learn the Elegy of Emptiness, which allows the player to create a doppelganger statue of himself for solving puzzles. The Link statue has this kind of creepy, uncanny Icona Valley expression, and in this haunted version of the game, the statue keeps spawning behind the player over and over, as if it were following him. Later, his character begins to spasm randomly on screen, flailing his arms before he's warped to a strange underground tunnel. After a string of deaths and odd glitches, new save files begin to appear on their own, each one a link in a chain that spells out an ominous message. First Ben, then drowned, then your turn. Terrified and desperate for answers, Jadusable returns to the old man's house. But he's not home. Instead, he finds a next-door neighbor who delivers a grim revelation. 8 years earlier, a young boy named Ben drowned in an accident nearby. Ben's ghost is haunting the cartridge, and the narrator by proxy. While the main story ends here, the thing expanded into a huge ARG that left more questions than answers. That same month, another staple of many childhoods was corrupted by keyboard storytellers with the release of the Squidward-centric lost episode, sometimes titled Red Mist. Told from the perspective of a former Nickelodeon intern, the story describes an editing room session that goes from slightly odd to utterly soul-shattering in minutes. It describes the discovery of a lost episode of SpongeBob SquarePants, where SpongeBob's grouchy neighbor, Squidward, loses his will to live, ending in a graphic scene not suitable for TV audiences. Not to be confused with this actual clip from a SpongeBob episode.
I can't seem to get happy. Maybe this will help.
Red Mist is an important chapter of the story of creepypasta as a whole, because it's probably the most iconic example of what would become known as the lost episode subgenre, which were known for putting a creepy twist on nostalgic and beloved classics from SpongeBob SquarePants to Mickey Mouse to The Simpsons. Another standout creepypasta that put a haunting spin on existing media was Normal Porn for Normal People, a story about a website aimed at eradicating abnormal sexuality. The writer goes on to describe how when he or she received an email from a stranger containing a link to the site, the videos found on there got increasingly stranger and more disturbing. Like a repairman passionately licking a washing machine for 7 minutes straight, an elderly woman making out with a mannequin, an obese mime sobbing quietly to himself, a dog forced to eat a peanut butter sandwich until it gets sick, and a man with no legs attempting to break down.
Stumps.avi, a 5-minute long video
oh my god, that
where a
feels my
man with
pen
no
stopped
legs
working.
is attempting to breakdance on a DDR mat in what looks like the kitchen from Peanut.avi,
Dance Dance
but
Revolution?
much dirtier. There's a radio playing music, unseen in the background, but it stops at the 4-minute mark when the man collapses on the mat in exhaustion. He breathes heavily and pleads with someone off screen to let him rest. This off-screen person becomes terrifyingly enraged and yells at him to keep dancing, which he does. You can hear this off-screen person begin to scream as the video ends abruptly.
It gradually becomes clear that the subjects of these seemingly random videos are being forced to make them in one location by the same producer, but the site disappears just as quickly as it popped up, and we never get any real answers. You've probably noticed this was another common element of these stories. Just as the recesses of the human mind are better at filling in scary visuals, the same could be applied to ambiguous endings. And again, this is something that the internet could do but didn't really work in Hollywood, giving the stories an extra touch of realism. That is, until things got too real for their own good. Earlier, I mentioned that 2 Nintendo franchises got the creepypasta treatment and became important pillars of the genre. The first, The Legend of Zelda, shouldn't be a huge surprise. Those games have always been packed with nightmare fuel. Pokemon, on the other hand, is more known for its cute characters and wholesome themes. But that wasn't the case with Lavender Town Syndrome. Released in April 2011, this one is such a classic. No characters, no dialogue, it's just a straight up description of an incident that the story alleges took place upon the Japanese release of Pokemon Red and Green in 1996. According to the text, 200 children died after reaching Lavender Town in the game. The music that plays in this area was said to have extremely high frequencies that only kids can hear, causing them to become ill with the so-called Lavender Town Syndrome. There's always been something unsettling about Lavender Town within the Pokemon canon. It's the location of the Pokemon graveyard and subject of multiple dark fan theories. Now, before we flip the calendar and move on from 2011, there's one more pasta from that year that I want to bring up. Unlike the others, it's not particularly well known, but it is a personal favorite of mine, and it's called Masterpiece. The unnamed child narrator describes the situation. After hearing screams from inside the house, the protagonist finds some inhuman creature dragging mom and dad into his or her bedroom, where it sets them up and uses their blood to paint something on the wall. The narrator hides under the covers, too afraid to move. This thing had made what it would probably call a masterpiece. To finish it off, it scribbled a message onto the wall that I could not read in the darkness. Then it positioned itself under my bed, waiting to strike. The scariest thing now is my eyes have adjusted to the darkness since then, and I can read the message on the wall. I don't want to look at it because it's terrifying to think about, but I feel I need to see before I'm killed. I peek at the creature's masterpiece. It says, "I know you're awake." It's short, it's simple, and the author is not known, but I think it does what I love most about these stories. It paints the broad strokes and allows the audience to toil over the implications of its existence. A masterpiece indeed. It didn't get as much love when it comes to recognition and fan art, but the next item I'd like to nominate for cultural significance in the National Library of Creepypasta had no shortage of that.
Soon I shall hold in my hand
Don't, that scared me.
your kidney.
Okay. The next character to join the pantheon was Eyeless Jack, sporting a blue mask, black hoodie, and an insatiable appetite for freshly harvested human organs. Jack began digital life much like Slender Man did, as a still image. In June of 2010, the first ever photo of Eyeless Jack was posted on 4chan under the title Nightmare Fuel. There was no lore attached, no details about his motivations or habits, just a mask that sent shockwaves rippling through 4chan servers. 2 years later, a creepypasta wiki user named Azel5000 penned the first known attempt at an origin story. In this telling, Eyeless Jack was a 19-year-old college student named Jack Nyros, who fell into the clutches of a demon-worshipping cult. During a ritual sacrifice meant to prepare him as a vessel for an inhuman host, the cult gouged out his eyes and poured hot tar into the empty sockets. I wonder if the football coach got fired for that one. Somehow, Jack survived the ordeal. The demon summoning ritual didn't work, but Jack became kind of a demon himself, reborn as a bloodthirsty prowler, black tar endlessly spilling from the holes where his eyes used to sit as he feeds on the kidneys of his victims. I'm honestly not sure what the whole kidney thing is about.
Oh, they took my freaking kidney.
Eyeless Jack was not the only Jack to become a household name, however.
James's body was nailed up on the wall. The nails pierced through his hands and feet, and his chest was cut wide open, and his organs hung down to the floor, and his eyes and tongue had been removed along with most of his teeth, and I was disgusted. I could hardly believe that this was my baby boy.
I'm literally having goosebumps. My hair is standing up.
The other flavor of Jack, Laughing Jack, started as a kid's imaginary friend before going full Pennywise. His lore is outlined across two stories, both written by the author Snuffbomb in 2013. Laughing Jack and the prequel, The Origin of Laughing Jack. In the origin story, Jack was created by a guardian angel in the 1800s as a magical Jack-in-the-Box toy meant to be a companion to a lonely child named Isaac Grossman. But Isaac was shipped off to boarding school where he ended up becoming a serial killer. Meanwhile, Jack was left to rot inside of his box. With no one to play with, he slowly lost his colors, turning monochrome and absorbing the cruelty of his absentee owner. Years later, when Laughing Jack was finally freed from his box, his dark metamorphosis was complete. Fully demonic, Jack killed Isaac with the same weapons he used to torture his victims, a dark mirror of his owner's cruelty. From then on, Jack became a parasitic imaginary friend to lonely or neglected children, luring them in with candy and games before tearing them apart, their souls trapped forever in a nightmarish carnival limbo where Pop Goes the Weasel plays on an endless loop.
Miley's mother has a mole on his chest and under his mouth.
That's the way the money goes. Goes the weasel.
For anyone who doesn't speak Old English, the song has a tragic hidden meaning about poverty and desperation. Pop was a 19th century slang for pawning something, and weasel meant your coat. Translation, the song is about hawking the shirt off your back just to survive, which means this playful chant was actually a quiet cry for help. That same bitter irony runs through the backstory of another iconic creepypasta villain, Tiki Toby. Created in 2013 by user Castaway, Toby began life as Toby Rogers, a troubled teenager with Tourette's and a rare condition that makes him numb to physical pain. But what he can't feel with his body, he more than makes up for with blinding emotional trauma. Bullied at school, abused at home, and disturbed by the death of his sister in a car wreck, Toby finally snaps. He starts hearing voices, evil whispers that urge him to kill his alcoholic father. Consumed by madness and grief, Toby carves his father up with a kitchen knife, then starts a fire to distract police as he flees into the woods. Once there, he crosses paths with a tall, spindly man in a dark suit, Slender Man. No longer human and armed with a pair of his dead father's bloody hatchets, Toby becomes one of Slender's proxies, much like Masky and Hoodie from the Marble Hornets series. Tiki Toby is an interesting case because he did essentially springboard off the popularity of Slender Man, but became a pretty popular character in his own right, being featured in many of the tier lists and character lineup artworks that were so popular at the time. If you liked creepypasta and you had a social media account in the early 10s, one of these images was probably your banner. While I guess Eric Knudsen technically owns the copyright for Slender Man, his encouragement for anyone online to participate by referring to him as an open source creature made the character effectively public domain. I've talked about the idea of open source canon before on my channel, but long story short, there are pros and cons. The pros are that you have dynamic storytelling that allows for a lot of innovation and creativity. The cons are that the author loses control of the narrative, and these types of projects tend to drift towards the same cliches every time. But thankfully, it wasn't just a free-for-all of different versions and variations on popular stories. Even with a lot of the titles being written anonymously, there were trusted voices in this community, with the power to raise up the writing that they saw as deserving of more exposure. These are essentially the celebrities of the creepypasta fandom. I am of course referring to the narrators.
Wait, can I... Down my table is a little bit more...
We did go to all 4 parts. We started with the Hollywood Studios, then Epcot, then the Animal Kingdom, and then finally the Magic Kingdom. I had a great time until I went on Splash Mountain.
I looked into the mirror. My shirt was drenched in blood, except for a pattern of ribs across the front. The blood was still wet to touch. My pockets were full of cartilage. My socks were soaked in afterbirth.
I had a bad dream and woke up in the middle of the night. I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed.
The rise of creepypasta narrations blasted the genre into a new stratosphere. Heavyweights like Mr. Creepypasta and Creeps McPasta took already iconic characters and gave them a voice, while shining a light on lesser-known pastas that might have otherwise been forgotten. Their early performances were scrappy, full of enough lo-fi jank to make you wonder if they were recorded under a blanket fort. These early videos were often one-take wonders, complete with flubs and retakes left in. Call it lazy if you want, but there's also something about it that adds to the charm. It's like your best friend with a flashlight at 2 a.m., whispering the local legend his older brother swore was true. As the genre exploded through the early 2010s, these videos became a little more buttoned up, with some narrators like Chilling Tales for Dark Nights and The Dark Somnium putting on full-scale audio drama productions. The cherry on top was the music, or in many cases, the music. Miyuji, who now goes by Miyu, or his government name Nicholas Gasparini, is the dark pianist whose haunting royalty-free tracks became so tied to the genre that a video didn't feel official until his music crept in underneath. Making his stuff available for creators to use for free was a stroke of genius that made his stuff the unofficial soundtrack of the whole entire community, whose impact cannot be understated.
There's no way that a scary story can live without the music behind it. If I told a scary story and I literally just had the same exact,
Meanwhile.
This makes atmosphere, man.
I can't. Oh, there we go.
Wonderful music.
Yeah,
Wonderful
the Mr. Creepypasta
music.
Miyu duo was so iconic that the two started making big convention appearances together. Personally, I loved drifting off to sleep as I listened to creepypasta narrations in the early to mid 2010s. Sometimes the voices would even bleed into my dreams and I would just find myself in the creepypasta story. I haven't done it in a long time, but I always felt like it was amazing
creepy.
whenever I pulled this off. It was like being in a movie. Now, there was one creepypasta story whose audio drama adaptation got a little more firepower than all of the others, and that was Borrasca. First published on the No Sleep subreddit in 2015, Borrasca was a 4-part narrative story about a protagonist whose family moves to a quiet mining town in Missouri, but he soon discovers it has a dark underbelly of secrets. Borrasca is the name of a mine located deep in the mountains from which a grinding metal sound can be heard emanating. It's said to be the home of horrifying monsters like the Shiny Gentleman and the Skinned Man. Later, when his sister goes missing, he becomes convinced that Borrasca has something to do with it. More girls go missing, casting a dark cloud over the town, but eventually the protagonist and his friend discover the location of the fabled mine. What they find there is a house of horrors so depraved it goes beyond the wildest stretches of what their imaginations believed was possibly going on inside these subterranean excavation sites. I'm not going to spoil the ending, because this one is truly one of the most epic creepypasta nightmares ever conceived. The reason I wanted to bring it up though is because it's an excellent example of what would become the main theme of creepypasta in the late 10s, that is, mainstream adoption. After Borrasca achieved viral success, the author, Rebecca Klingel, was hired by director Mike Flanagan to write on his Netflix adaptation of The Haunting of Hill House that came out in 2018. Borrasca itself was adapted by the audio production studio Q-Code, who turned it into a full-scale audio drama series starring Cole Sprouse, a man so famous he has an entire Instagram account dedicated to catching strangers who try to take pictures of him. The audio drama was a huge deal for independent authors everywhere.
They told me they thought she ran away back to St. Louis.
Dad, what's happening?
Sit down, Sammy.
What? You talking to me?
No one was looking to find her.
What was Borrasca?
Place where bad things happen.
Nice voice.
The series didn't air until 2020, but come 2016, I tried my own hand at some creepypasta audio productions when I launched my series Al Dente Creepypasta.
Hello, and welcome to Al Dente Creepypasta. Horror stories cooked to perfection with a splash of red sauce.
These weren't true creepypastas in the sense that they had been copy and pasted from somewhere on the internet, but they carried the same style, first-person perspective, mood, and aura of the pastas that came before. My thing was to write my own original stories and deliver them with cinematic sound design, music, and visuals, giving the audience something they couldn't find anywhere else. One story that I wrote that became pretty popular was called Creepy Clown School Lockdown, about a man recalling how his elementary school was stalked by a creepy clown, instilling a new lifelong fear in the narrator.
And that's when I saw
a
clown crash up against the glass and stare at me with those wide eyes. It may have been just some teenagers or YouTubers pulling a prank, but I ran as fast as I could and didn't stop until I was locked inside of my room, because clowns terrify me now.
Creepy Clown School Lockdown spawned 4 sequels over a 5-year span. And yes, to those who still ask about it, I would like to go back and finish the series at some point. I've just been busy being the horror history man. But while I was busy writing stories of haunted Disney rides and corrupt offshore casinos, the greater creepypasta community had grown bigger than ever and had more eyes on it than ever. And that can only mean one thing. Controversy was on the horizon. The era of creepypasta narrations didn't just fuel growth for the internet horror ecosystem. It blew the lid right off the pot, making room for brand new subgenres to noodle their way into your bowl. And one of the stickiest and most controversial recipes of the era was the ritual pasta, a step-by-step guided ritual usually performed in exchange for power, forbidden knowledge, or a supernatural item. Living in that liminal space between scary story and dare, these interactive horror guides like The Midnight Game or Three Kings challenge readers to perform unsettling tasks like light candles, mirror gaze, or knock on wood at exactly 3:33 a.m. Fail and the instructions often promise death or worse. Ritual urban legends have always been around with the likes of Bloody Mary and Hanako-san, but the digital internet versions introduced the concept of virality, the idea that you could have your 15 minutes of fame if you pulled it off on camera. This led to the epidemic of challenge videos, which ended up being dangerous and caused a lot of issues for YouTube, but it's probably a topic for a different video. But it does show that the internet has the power to make people do stupid things. Thousands of kids courted catastrophe with ritual pastas, hoping to outlast their friends and gain schoolyard bragging rights. rituals. These stories thrived because they weaponized temptation. What if you could cheat death with a ritual? What if one wrong step really did summon something hungry into your bedroom? Most kids laughed off ritual pastas as spooky sleepover dares, but some did not get off so easy. 3 Wisconsin families learned this the hard way. On May 31st, 2014, 2 12-year-old girls in Waukesha, Wisconsin lured their friend into the woods for a game of hide and seek and stabbed her 19 times. When questioned by the police, the girls claimed that the attack was their way of proving themselves to Slender Man in order to become his next proxy.
I think we actually we watched that here. I think it's used from atmospheric changes, but maybe that. Oh yeah, that could also be. That's a thing. Yeah. Damn. Weather. Weather. Why are you so annoying?
He's this tall, faceless man who preys on children.
Anissa explained to me that to prove yourself worthy to Slender, you would have to kill somebody.
Morgan said we have to kill Bella.
The attackers, Anissa Wire and Morgan Geyser, were picked up by police on the side of the interstate highway 5 hours later. They claimed that they were on the way to meet Slenderman at his mansion in the woods, where they believed that they would be allowed to live with him after proving their worthiness. Miraculously, the victim, Peyton Isabella Leitner, survived after 6 days in the hospital. A surgeon treating the girl said that if the wounds had been the width of a human hair deeper, she would have likely died on the operating table.
I shouldn't be alive. I really shouldn't after what happened.
I remember when this happened, and yeah, it was a big deal. In general, people took the time to offer their sympathy to the victim, with Mr. Creepypasta and several other narrators like Madame Macabre coming together for a live stream to raise over $8,000 for her recovery. While the situation was handled with sensitivity, with Eric Knudsen releasing a statement, the community was careful not to accept any blame for what happened. And then Creepypasta Wiki admin wrote, "For someone to make the jump from reading a creepy story that is being presented as 100% fiction into actually using it as a motive to plot and murder another human being, something else has to be going on there." The more I read about the incident itself, the more I remove the shock of Slenderman's name being attached to it and just find the situation really sad. Peyton and Morgan were childhood best friends, a friendship that Anissa seemed to be jealous of. I feel like being attacked within a millimeter of your life is traumatic enough. Those scars will heal, but the betrayal never goes away. A follow-up interview in 2019 revealed that Peyton sleeps with a pair of scissors nearby just in case someone tries to murder her again. That's just depressing. As for the attackers, as I alluded to earlier, they appeared to actually believe that Slenderman was real. Both were found not guilty due to insanity, and both ended up in psychiatric hospitals. Anissa was granted early release in 2021, and Morgan was scheduled for conditional release in 2025, though she's having trouble finding a group home that will take her in, which was part of the conditions of her release. The clear and obvious lesson of this story is to leave the horror on the page in the fictional world. But anyone even remotely paying attention is bound to notice that the 2 knife-wielding aggressors, who were found to be the subjects of mental disease, believed that they could become Slenderman proxies, just like Tiki Toby, Masky, and Hoodie, who were also subjects of a mental disease, known by the fans of Marble Hornets as the Slender Sickness. To be entirely clear, this was a self-fulfilling prophecy for the girls, and understandably, it created a genuine moral panic, and seemed to have a chilling effect on creepypasta as a whole. This is the Google Trends graph for the search term creepypasta. The Slenderman stabbing took place on May 31st, 2014. This peak right here represents June 2014. You could argue that the news story about the incident is what caused that spike, and you'd be correct, but it continued to decline for the next 4 years after that. Maybe some of that is the genre just having run its course, but it's not hard to believe that for a lot of people, seeing someone really get hurt just made it too real. Think about it. So much of creepypasta's power as a medium came from blurring the line between fiction and reality. Ted the Caver, Lavender Town Syndrome, the Russian sleep experiment, they all thrived on that little inkling of an idea that any of it could be real. And now, someone had crossed the line and made it real. And this wasn't even the only time this happened. Just a year later, another 12-year-old girl was arrested, this time in Elkhart, Indiana, after killing her stepmother under the belief that she was obeying the commands of Laughing Jack.
The Elkhart, Indiana girl claims that Laughing Jack, a horrifying clown character who appears in stories posted on the website Creepypasta, told her to set her room on fire and stab her stepmother, Maria Torres, repeatedly to death.
According to reports, the 12-year-old had been suffering from dissociative identity disorder and claimed to hear voices that told her to do the things that she did. Strangely, this second case got pretty much no press coverage. The attacker's name, for example, doesn't even appear to be listed anywhere, and I didn't even know about this one until I started researching this video. I'm honestly not sure why this was a smaller story, especially considering that the victim actually died this time. The only thing I can think is that Slenderman was just more of a widely recognized character than Laughing Jack. In any event, it certainly didn't have a positive effect for those involved in the creation and enjoyment of these stories, and a once thriving community would never be the same. Of course, creepypasta didn't die immediately after these incidents happened, but it might have been better if it had, because one of the biggest embarrassments in creepypasta history was still yet to come.
It's more.
A Hollywood movie can be one of the most powerful things in pop culture. Take the 1988 documentary The Thin Blue Line, for example. It examined the trial and conviction of a man accused of shooting a police officer, and the movie presented the evidence in such a compelling way that the case was returned to court for a retrial, resulting in a life sentence in prison being overturned. Now imagine the complete opposite of that. A movie so irrelevant, the only people more pissed off than its haters were its fans. That's pretty much what happened with the Slender Man movie. I mean, who could forget my legendary Things You Missed intro that
Slender Man movie? Damn, he ate a lot of beans.
Development of the film began in 2016, and even then, I remember people saying that Hollywood had waited too long. The original Slender Man craze on the Something Awful form was already 7 years in the past at that point, and the movie wouldn't actually come out until 2018. On one hand, it was exciting to see Sony Pictures embracing an organic creation of the internet. But as I mentioned before, the stabbing really put a damper on things, and this movie would release at the bottom of that trends graph, all while going up against backlash stemming from the families involved in the tragic attack, who said the quote, crass film extends their pain, and the petition with more than 20,000 signatures calling for the film to be pulled from theaters. All of this could have just been noise, but when the trailers started coming out, they didn't seem to reference the established Slender Man lore from Eric Knudsen, Marble Hornets, or the Creepypasta Wiki. So it made it feel like the movie was cashing in on the 2014 Wisconsin incident more than it was honoring the beloved culture that the community had built. I'm sure all of this would have been forgotten if the movie was good though, but as you've probably figured out by now, audiences were left hungry. It got a measly 8% on Rotten Tomatoes. IndieWire called it a tasteless and inedibly undercooked serving of the internet's stalest creepypasta. At least I can appreciate the continuation of that pun. So here I am now in 2025 thinking, was it really as bad as I remember? And I love Letterboxd because you can just go back and see exactly what you thought at the time. And I said, definitely the worst movie that MoviePass has ever paid $15 for me to see. Holy shit. And the choices they made were just mind-boggling. Like I said, this movie started development 2 years after the stabbing, so they knew the topic was contentious, and despite that, the main characters are teenage girls trying to summon Slender Man at a sleepover. And in the movie, Slender Man infects people's minds. And to be clear, I don't have an issue with the movie adapting real-world crimes, but they forgot to make it good. And you already had so much good Slender Man lore that people love, and you didn't use it. Anyway, this movie was banned from theaters in Waukesha County, but it still did manage to make $50 million on a $10 million budget.
Oh, wow.
On the flip side, while the Slender Man movie was being developed, Channel Zero showed the world how to do it right, at least for the first couple seasons. They invited the original creators into the process, leaned into the quirk, and delivered some good psychological horror in the vein of the stories that built that audience in the first place. After their first season in 2016, where they adapted Candle Cove, they ended up doing 3 more. Season 2 is based on No End House, where a character is challenged to go through a haunted house with increasingly horrifying rooms that play on the person's deepest fear. Season 3, Butcher's Block, was mostly an original narrative, but it did take elements from a story on the No Sleep subreddit called Search and Rescue Woods. The 4th and final season aired in 2018 and is loosely based on another No Sleep story called I Found a Hidden Door in My Cellar and I Think I've Made a Big Mistake. Outside of Channel Zero, there were a couple of other notable creepypasta adaptations planned, such as a creepypasta short film anthology show hosted by Clive Barker, the guy who created Hellraiser and Candyman, and a movie adaptation of the Russian sleep experiment. But both of these were ultimately canceled during the fallout period after the stabbings, though the reason for the cancellations is not known. But with those projects off the docket, there really hasn't been another pop culture moment for creepypasta as of writing. There was a live tour that Mr. Creepypasta, Creeps McPasta, and Miu embarked on in 2019, where they performed horror story narrations for a live audience and interacted with fans, but in retrospect, that was more of a last hurrah than the start of a new trend. Some authors and narrators carried on as usual, but uploads and views have slowly dwindled over the next decade. And with that decline, audiences have splintered off to other places and other topics that carry the same vibe that creepypasta once did. The aforementioned No Sleep subreddit became a haven for immersive first-person horror framed as true experiences. Its strict in-universe rule that everything posted be treated as real attracted readers looking for more grounded, psychological flavors of dread. Around the same time, analog horror climbed out of the ruins of the exhausted found footage subgenre. Trading shaky cams for static-filled VHS public access shows, series like Local 58 and The Mandela Catalog carried on the torch ignited by creepypasta stories by mimicking established formats for horror. This Local 58 episode, called Contingency, played like an emergency broadcast that calmly informs the viewer that the US has surrendered to an insurmountable enemy force. Citizens are urged to act to preserve the memory of our nation. The broadcast ends with a horrifying reversal. The messages were part of an apparent hoax. The station politely apologizes for the confusion and signs off. Those gunshots you heard next door? Just an unfortunate misunderstanding. That blend of realism and creeping doubt that makes you question everything was the lifeblood of creepypasta. And nowhere is that paranoia more refined than in the genre's most popular successor, the SCP Foundation. An acronym for Special Containment Procedures, SCP weaponized the formula, creating a shared universe of clinical reports on impossible horrors, unkillable creatures, interdimensional beings, and locations that bend the rules of space and time.
SCP-096 went berserk when any of the attending personnel saw its face. In this stage, it would enter a period of considerable and unstoppable distress for 1 to 2 minutes, covering its face and wailing loudly.
The format here is a series of mock scientific reports and short stories that flesh out the universe. The SCP Wiki, as of writing, has over 8,000 SCP files and over 4,000 Foundation tales, submitted by fans from around the world across 16 languages. Like most wikis, anyone can contribute to and refine the shared mythology, and submissions are curated by the community, making it one of the largest collaborative fiction projects in history. It's also one of the most tightly organized thanks to its peer review process, strict formatting rules, classification systems, and community feedback to ensure quality control. These numbers speak to how creepypasta has evolved beyond single stories and beyond the need for centralized storytelling, which does a perfect job of reflecting what makes the age of internet horror different from the trends that ruled the genre in the past. In some ways, this makes modern-day urban legends more frightening, because the entire process of collaborative lore that has to pass the checks and balances of a whole community of editors and moderators kind of mirrors the horror of modern life, where we're under constant surveillance and digital footprints follow us around in a way that makes the stubborn spirits of old seem harmless. While it's easy to attribute the decline of creepypasta to Hollywood's butchering of intellectual properties or the butcherings committed by mentally ill 12-year-olds, my feeling is that both of these only helped speed up the inevitable. By the mid-2010s, the genre had pretty much run its course. Creepypasta blew up at a time when unverified horror accounts on the internet were still fun and spooky, a time before community notes and profit-driven grifters. There's a reason that nearly every classic creepypasta is told in the first person, compared to only like 30% when it comes to traditional novels. Creepypasta brought us back to the oldest kind of storytelling, the campfire tale. Only now, the campfire is digital, the circle of listeners is infinite, and while that fire has faded, it never goes out entirely. If you're interested in me taking a deeper look at any of these creepypasta icons in a future episode of Horror History, be sure to drop me a comment and let me know what you'd like to see. And if you happen to be a fan of alternative music, make sure you check out my second channel, Pumpkin Metal, where I do band history episodes on your favorite pop, punk, and metal bands. And finally, if you love exploring the twisted intersections where fiction bleeds into reality, make sure you subscribe to CZ's World for new horrors every week, ring the death bell, and select all notifications so you don't miss an upload, and I will see you in the next one. Assuming we both survive.
I only finished one. It took me 1 hour to finish one chibi. What the heck? To be fair, it was kinda difficult. I haven't drawn in a while, so yeah. Makes sense. We on Tumblr and oh, what? What is that supposed to mean? What is that? Send it, please. What is... I've never heard of that. What? Tumblr deciding who gets MPreg? What?
Jesse, take your prenatal vitamins. I want to see him lose his mind in the Target maternity aisle.
Oh my god.
They're always pregnant online. What in the Mamma Mia is this?
I need to actually, like,
it's time
focus 100% on this one.
Wait. Get that man pregnant. I need maternity dresses, diapers, bottles, baby wipes, stat. Come on, people, there's a lot of candidates. Fans love their polls. They love their tournaments. They love pitting their faves against each other for any reason under the sun.
Yeah.
There's the annual #1 Tumblr Sexy Man poll, the Who's the Biggest Baby Girl poll, what's the most iconic yaoi or
Oh, I've seen this kind of thing. But not with yaoi. What? But yeah, on Facebook I used to even vote for this.
ship. And what's a more noble reason for a competition than trying to figure out which fictional man would make the best parent?
Oh my god.
Perhaps maybe not in the most conventional way. Well, I mean, I'm sure for some
Transformers character, what?
Left field. Mpreg as a word has been edging itself further and further into the layman's vernacular, but if you've never heard of it, it just stands for male pregnancy. As for how Mpreg works, there's a lot of different methods, a lot of different routes it can take.
Fun.
It really just depends on the author or writer who's doing stuff with the concept. And the concept is nothing new. I'll be frank, this can be a very odd, off-putting topic for some people. Some think Mpreg is
not
weird.
for me.
Some think Mpreg is fascinating. Some think Mpreg is the best part of fandom. But as we're going to be talking at length about an Mpreg poll, I will not tolerate Mpreg slander in this house.
Yes, we don't slander the Mpreg, okay?
Pregnancy is rough. Listen, I mean, given the climate of the US, they want babies so bad, by God, let them be pregnant too. They deserve the right to pull themselves up by their maternity diapers and say, Lord, please grant me ass babies. All of that is to say, if
ass babies,
thing, then this probably isn't the video for you. But hey, since you're here, I have plenty of other videos that don't involve male characters getting pregnant, so check them out. If you've been in fan spaces for long enough, though, you're probably just like, oh, it's just another Thursday. And personally, I think it can be really cute. With that all out of the way, everybody, welcome to the Need Him Pregnant poll. This tourney-style poll took place on Tumblr from the end of April to the end of June, and within that 2-month period, completely took over the platform. It was a multi-fandom explosion as folks from all corners of the internet competed for the right for their favorite male character to carry on the next generation. Currently, season 2 of the Great Mpreg Tournament is ongoing.
Oh my
it's
god.
only recently begun. We've got a lot of fictional men to get through and pit against each other. So if you want to say in 2026's Mpreg champion will be, cast your votes. Spread your propaganda. There's some great options this year. Personally, I'm rooting for Shane Hollander.
It's around one. So it's fictional characters and actual men. Okay. I don't know Shane Hollander, but I know Kave, and Kave is definitely the one that gets pregnant, okay? He is the definition of omega, like the typical tsundere bottom omega, like that's Kave, okay? Like, yeah, Kave. Kave is the one that's getting preg.
I hope he makes it far at the very least. Ilya, get to work. The Need Him Pregnant tournament was put together by Omi. Hi, Omi. Thank you so much for taking the time and doing all of this. I had a lot of fun voting. I really appreciate that Wei Ying is the icon for this blog. Ever felt overcome with the deeply rooted urge to make that fandom man a mother? Well, I've got news for you. Interested fans who wanted to enter their horses into the race, as it were able to do so by submitting forms for their character.
Yeah, I would submit like half of the Hoyoverse character. So I would submit like half of the manga characters. Like even if it's not yaoi, I'll submit. Okay, yeah.
Or characters, as there was no limit for submissions. And as you can imagine, a lot of the same characters ended up being put forth. Regarding the rules, only submit characters through the form link, only one character per submission, and the character submitted can be from any form of media, they just have to identify as a man. Obviously, I mean, without the M, it'd just be preg, and I hear enough about that from my grandma, who really, really wants great-grandchildren. Sorry, Grandma, it's gonna be a hot sec. Submit a specific character only once, but you can submit different characters propaganda is encouraged, but no anti-propaganda. So hype up your faves, but don't fart
You're
on other people's
alive?
faves.
That's
And
good,
as
that's
always,
great.
polls are for fun, so don't take this
Let me
too
know
seriously.
when the
We really don't wanna
peak
stress
no
out the
English
pregnant
thing
men here.
happens.
What
I am
possessed me to make this
ready.
vlog? I wish I knew, but here
Maybe.
we are. But yeah, the submissions came in droves. Some fandoms were very
Hope you're
gung-ho
doing
and
good.
threw practically every character they could into this tournament, and other fandoms were a little more choosy. Granted, Mpreg is embraced and, dare I say, almost considered a staple in certain fandoms more so than others. Take Transformers or Star Trek.
Okay,
or
yeah,
Gundam,
what the heck? I need to know, what do you mean Transformers Mpreg? What? They are robots.
of which dominated the submissions. We got some classic contenders, veteran parents.
Oh,
We've got some newer blokes on
okay,
the block, new parents, and at the end of it all, we had 300 contestants. 300 prospective fictional men to get pregnant. Who's gonna do it? Who volunteers? I already have my hands full with my dog. Sorry. Do not bot the polls. I will disqualify your character. Spoilers for later. Since I couldn't find a template for 300 contestants, I decided I'd split them into 3 groups of 100 instead. So they'll essentially operate as 3 separate yet congruent brackets until the final poll, which will be a round robin with the 3 finalists. This will also help give some of the single submissions, so the characters only submitted once, a bit more of a chance to shine. I will post 9 polls a day, maybe more if I really get into it. Yeah, I mean, with that many contestants, you can understand why this poll took months to complete. And every poll
Transformer
that took place with
fandom, I know,
every
sounds
fight to the death is listed
crazy.
on this Google Doc. Yeah, I tried
It's very
scrolling down to the very
creative
bottom
and
of the
crazy
Need
how
and
you
Pregnant
can manage
Tumblr
to
blog, and it
imagine
genuinely
a
took me
robot
about 10
getting
minutes.
pregnant.
Fans had a lot of fun spreading their propaganda, sharing their reasons
their
for
own
why
they
this
have their
character
own
should be
terminal.
pregnant.
What?
It just makes sense, or they look so cute. As this is a very
baby
thorough
robot.
and very fierce competition, if I were to go through every part of every bracket of every round, this video would be hours long. So for the earlier polls, I will be popping around a bit, but if you see any character, any toe-to-toe battle that
Did I
you
just see
want to check out for yourself,
Minecraft?
then this
What?
Google Doc link will be in the description and pinned comment. And while you're at it, please go ahead and give some love to the Need Him Pregnant blog page as well. Again, have fun participating in the
Oh
current
hell no, no way, here no, I gotta say something here. I saw my beloved Unhinged. No, Unhinged is not getting Mpreg. He's mine, okay? Do what you want with that information I just said, okay?
fun participating in the current polls going on. The Google Doc for Season 2 will also be in the description. Starting at round 6, I will cover every poll, but there are some earlier battles that I do want to address and share with you because some curious stuff happened.
I'm
And the
just
propaganda is really funny.
super
without
down
further
bad
ado,
for
it's
Duncan.
time for us to answer the age-old question, which man is getting pregnant? Looking at our roster here, I see a lot of anime, there's Marvel, Evan Buck Buckley, of course, and Simon Ghost Riley.
I don't think. Wait. I don't think Ghost fits to be impreg. He's just okay. To be fair, I have no clue who the other guy is, but Ghost is too badass. I can't imagine him being impreg. Yeah, Ghost does the pregging. Yeah, but he's not getting impreg. I just can't imagine Ghost being pregnant.
Propaganda for Buck. This is a man with so much love to give, and I would love to reciprocate that love horizontally and naked. Ghost. He's a big, edgy military dude who just needs to chill out and have a baby or two. Those who get it, get it. Oh, I gotta see who won that. Looks like Ghost did. Chaerong from Heaven Official's Blessing and Cardinal to Death.
My boy, the god here. He's getting impreg.
Go from Conclave. What? Oh man.
Yeah.
Look, okay, Chaerong, very beautiful, very breedable, but
very breedable.
Tedesco, dude! I need to see him suffer. Give him the worst case of morning sickness. He deserves it. For Chirong, I think making him pregnant is the next logical step. He would be so insufferable about it, complain about every little thing, but also demand to be pampered. I want to ruin him. He's gorgeous. He canonically adopts a child who loves him very much. He needs to be pregnant. I'll die for him. For Tedesco, he would be so grouchy pregnant and be so snappy and terrible to everyone around him, especially because he'd need to quit vaping. It would also be proof of either a virgin birth or him breaking his vows of celibacy, which has so much potential. He had sex with no condoms because he thought at 70 plus he was too old to get pregnant, but he was wrong. You know what they say, life finds a way. Jin Yuan from Hunger Star Rail versus...
Okay, no. Jiyoung, he is the one doing the pregnant, okay? He is not the one getting impregned. He is too manly, okay? I know him. I play Honkai. He goes hard, okay? He does the brain and he goes hard, okay? He goes hard and deep, okay? I will just I don't think I should be reacting and talking about this.
It's Luca from Alien Stage. It was a narrow margin, but Luca won by a little bit. Jing Yuan was already a mother to Yanqing. What's one more? Have you seen the tits on that man? The hips, the muscles? I need to give him a litter. Just one chance. I'd do anything, please. The submitter came back again to say, I am desperately stuck once again with the need to give him a litter. He's so maternal. I need him in my mouth ASAP.
You see? He is the one doing the pregnant, okay? He's the one thirsty. I'm ending strip. Okay, I shut up. I really like him.
For Luca, Twinkiest motherfucker who loves messing with people's minds by impersonating their dead friends. I don't know if I fix him,
Luca is messed up.
Megatron from Transformers versus Dr. James Wilson from House. Basically, what I'm saying is that there are infinite flavors of Pregatron, and all of them are peak drama because that's how he rolls. Also, you get to call him Pregatron, which is always a win. That's a pretty big draw in my book. He's got birthing hips and a desire to fuel the Decepticon
hips. Oh my god.
Yeah, we know who's gonna take this. Megatron. Jason Todd versus Guyun from
Oh my.
Stars of Chaos.
I usually don't like characters with glasses. But damn, he's gorgeous. Who's getting pregnant? Honestly, glasses boy. Looks like he could get them pregnant.
I have the book. I actually haven't started it yet, though. Holy shit. He would thrive as a parent and needs to be being pregnant could fix him or make him worse. Either way, imagine the tits. Guyun, he's always complaining that he doesn't have children because of his family's curse or whatever, and if you know what happened to his godson...
Stars of Chaos isn't this...
Anyway, his husband would also be given an heir, so bonus
That's
points.
That's
the answer's Jason Todd. I mean, look at him.
I don't know, Jason looks like... I can't imagine him being impreg. I can only imagine him as a very or not very, but kinda like kinda sadist top. Enjoys bullying the bottom, like seeing the bottom cry. That's the only way I can see Jason, not as a bottom and preg. No, I can't. No.
Soundwave from Transformers versus Ace from...
How can you compare these two? Why would you do this? I think the robot The robot is getting pregnant.
One Piece. Soundwave. He already has 5+ children that he stores and carries around in his chest. Pregnancy is simply the most natural evolution of that.
Gosh.
His old kid exploded in his chest. Gotta put a new one in there.
What?
Ace. He walks around shirtless with the dumbest cargo shorts known to man and is literally made of fire. Tells everyone he meets about his little brother. Narcoleptic. Serial dine and dasher. Pointy-chinned bastard. I love him. Of course.
Okay, is narcoleptic the one that you just fall asleep wherever? If that's so, that's definitely not something a pregnant person should be doing. So yeah, Ace should not be pregnant. Okay? He's not that pregnant.
Of course, it's Soundwave from Transform. Okay, look, all the Transformers will be getting pregnant here. I can guarantee that. Sorry, Ace.
Apparently.
This is a pretty tight margin. Toya Todoroki, Dobby from My Hero versus Crowley from...
No, don't let this guy be pregnant. No, no. For the safety of the children, no.
Good Omens, Crowley took this one. For Dobby, my man has the worst daddy and mommy issues. Would making him a parent himself help? Absolutely not, but I'm willing to give it a shot for the sake of science. Oh, he would hate it so much. All he wants to do is make people suffer, and now he's making someone live. I think deep down he would feel a weird sense of pride and view it as another you to endeavor. For Crowley, it'll make his life much worse, but mine much better. Dean Winchester.
No!
Versus Raphael from Love and...
I have no clue who the man on the left is. Dean. Okay, Dean, I don't know you. I have no clue of your character or your personality from Supernatural. I have never seen that, but it's Supernatural. Okay, I may watch it. But Raphael? No, but you know what the worst thing is that I can't argue against the fact that Raphael is the most one from the whole Love and Deep Space. But no! He's mine! He's my fish, okay? We have already done a lot of stuff, okay? So it's impossible for him to get a break, okay?
In Deep Space, Dean's gotta take this. He's like the king of Mpreg on Tumblr. Yeah, this was a landslide.
Oh! Damn! Good. Very good.
Dean, he's so breedable, he'd make such a good mom. We need a Supernatural sequel somehow. For Raphael, insert male seahorse pregnancy joke here.
Oh no! Seahorse pregnancy. He's a merman though, okay? Anyways, he looks incredibly breathable. No, he doesn't look breathable. He acts breathable. His personality is breathable. That's why he is breathable. But no. At the same time, he's not, okay?
That's good. For the second bracket, Homer Simpson versus Shadow Milk Cookie.
I won't say anything.
Homer Simpson, what? This has to be one of my favorite matchups of this entire poll. For Homer, look. Hear me out. For Shadow Milk Cookie, he's pathetic, wears a bodysuit, is extremely fruity, and needs to be pampered because he's probably touch-starved. Therefore, he should get pregnant. I mean, just look at Homer here. Look at these come-hither eyes. Wasn't there an episode where, like, he swallowed shark eggs? Am I remembering that wrong? Was that on DeviantArt somewhere? Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad versus Artemi Baraka from Pathologic. Jesse, take your prenatal vitamins. Yep,
no
Jesse
clue
on this one. He's transcoded and a very paternal vibe emanates from him. Plus, he's always in the hospital and beat up. He perfectly suits Womp Pregnant and Fluff Preg. For Artemi, he was already pregnant in Pathologic 1 and adopted 2 kids in Pathologic 2. He's a mother. Even if he is sometimes too ruthless to people, including children, he will protect his kids until death. Bruce Wayne versus Navy from...
What? Wait, what is this? Hi, girls. How you doing? How's it going? You just came at the best time for sure.
Animation versus Minecraft.
Wait, okay, now Batman is definitely not getting impreg. Nope. Whatever or whoever this blue stickman is he's getting impreg. Let's look up and already want to know what's going so what's going on is no, you won't regret asking. No. So we were watching, it started with the creepypasta story, and then we're now watching the which fictional man is getting pregnant from a Tumblr. And let me say that I am surprised about some of these nominations. Like, what the fuck? Who would have thought that the Transformers community would have their own terminology for preg robots? I'm also voting now here and saying my opinions on certain nominations. So yeah, that's what's happening. Mpreg tournament.
I'm not familiar with that, but I mean, come on, dude. You see these two, and it's like, visually speaking, who would make the more aesthetically pleasing pregnant person? The hero in spandex or the stick figure?
Plus, go. What was the name of the city Batman protects? Gotham? Got something? Nam? Gotham. Yeah. They need Batman, okay? Sure, they have the rest of the Justice League, but Batman is still needed, okay? He's very much needed, so he can't be pregnant, okay? No.
Here, Bruce took the trophy here.
What?
He enjoyed the experience. For Navy, he wasn't a good father previously, but he probably regrets it. For Braggage 3, Bruce...
Where else is Batman gonna... Oh my god, no! No! He just needs to adopt more children, okay? He doesn't need to get pregnant, okay? What about Gotham? Gotham needs Batman, so he can't be pregnant, but apparently Tumblr voted the opposite. So apparently Batman is getting preg. Bloodhaven, where his first Robin now lives. Oh. He moves away? Damn. Bruno! No!
Bruno Gal versus Dill Halter from...
Okay, first of all, who the fuck is this? And second of all, why Bruno? No, not Bruno. I can't. The worst thing is that I can't imagine Bruno being pregnant, because his personality is pretty much like Raphael. His personality is breathable. He's so sweet. And I hate that I can imagine that. You have now found out I'm a massive Batman fan. Yes, I have. But also this guy on the right, he seems like he's ready, you know? Like he's already kissing.
Dan and Phil play The Sims. Still alive! Isn't that canon, though? Yeah, it looked good on him the first time. Gotta love those aliens in The Sims, dude. Bruno, middle-aged man with mental health issues and a deep, crippling loneliness.
No, you
Let's
don't
give him a
regret
baby.
it.
Maybe next time, champ. Alfred F. Jones, America from Hitalia.
I have watched Hetalia. And it's been a while, so I don't remember 100% every single character's personality. But for me, the only character that I for sure would say is not breathable would be Germany. So here I think America is the one getting impreg. Plus look at the difference of how they look. America is a cutie, and then we have this guy, I think he's from Pokemon, right? One of the games. I don't know. He's the strict dad, okay?
Versus Lysander from Pokemon. Is America gonna have a baby? No! Okay, honestly, it's for the best. America does not deserve a baby right now. This man possibly had 50 kid states, so it wouldn't be a stretch for him to get pregnant again, and also because Roe versus Wade got overturned and I need to take it out on him. Lysander, why would you not want a beautiful giant redheaded man to be pregnant? Anyway, hear me out.
No.
Okay, so let's imagine he succeeds with his evil plan. Now they have to repopulate. Also, it would be really funny, which should always be the most important argument, in my humble opinion. I can concur with that. For round 2, bracket 1, we've got Vash the Stampede versus Megatron.
What? Okay, I won't even say anything, because I don't know any of them, but Megatron is definitely gonna win because so far every Transformers character has won.
Both are very mother. I've read many of Vash has a baby fic, but Megatron took the win here. Next up, we've got Optimus Prime.
Nope, nope, nope. Don't let Kira have a kid. Nope. No.
Prime versus Light Yagami.
Oh, it's not Kira. It's like... Wrong series, my bad. I thought his name was Kira. What? Who is Kira then? Wait, who's Kira? Ah, forget it. I don't know.
I
that
really don't think Light
just don't let him have kids.
For the sake
No.
of the baby. But
No.
also, who knows? Maybe having a baby would fix him.
Kira is that right? Yes, I knew it. Yes, I was right.
But alas, Optimus Prime took
I knew it. This is for the best. This is for the best.
The win here. Next is Tony Stark versus James Kirk.
No, James Kirk, okay? No, Iron Man, no.
That picture of Tony, goddamn, very, very 80s. You know, I've seen both of these men get pregnant a lot.
What? What? When was Tony Stark pregnant? Some kind of multiverse? Oh god.
In fan works, they've both got a legacy with Mpreg going on, but Kirk took the win here. Granddaddy reigns supreme. For bracket 2, we've got Will Graham versus Agent Stone.
I don't know any of these men, but I look at the one on the left and I see a daddy, and I see the one on the right and I see a normal man that can be pregnant.
You know, I really can't decide if I prefer Eggman or Stone to be the pregnant one. I'm kind of 50-50, but Will Graham on the other hand
from the
is complete
Sonic
baby girl, so he will be
movie.
getting
I haven't watched the Sonic movies. I saw the first trailer when it looked like super bad, like scary Sonic the Hedgehog, and I was like, no, I'm not watching it. And then when they released the movie and he was looking better, I was too lazy to watch it.
And indeed he did. He took the win here. Following that, we have Blade versus...
Fuck. Okay. I gotta say, looks-wise, Blade is the one that's more breathable. But... No. Blade is the type of man that would either leave the child or wouldn't know what to do and would always be nervous, be like, oh my god, what the heck do I do? It's crying. And leave it to his comrades because he just doesn't know how to deal with a child. While Snake, I don't know much about Snake. I've barely ever seen stuff of his games. But he looks more like a decent guy because he's a good guy, plays a bad guy, so I think Snake would win.
Solid Snake, kind of like a new gen versus fandom oldie pick. The fandom oldies came through because Snake took the win here for bracket 3. This is an insane poll. We've got Dill Helter versus King Neptune from
I'm going for Dale, okay?
SpongeBob. Hey, I'd believe Mindy came out of him. They're both clearly experienced parents, but Dill took the win here. Fan must be so proud. Following that, Kent Mansley from the Iron Giant versus Professor Venomous.
The one on the right looks more breathable than the one on the left.
Why do I kind of want to see him get pregnant? He'd be so paranoid about it. I want to see him lose his mind in the Target maternity aisle. But alas, Professor Venomous took the win here. Next. This is kind of bananas. It's
Bro, no way. No. Just get Shang pregnant. No. I don't remember his name, but the one on the left, he's a danger to the world, okay? No.
Lush v Britannia versus Li Shang from Mulan. The results are killing me. Shang took the win here in a landslide. Round 3. What a way to start. It's Professor X from X-Men versus Cardinal Vincent.
Professor X! No! So he would be a great dad. But he's too old. He's too old. He would die in child labor, okay? No.
Benitez, or Pope Innocent XIV from Conclave. And yeah, I've said it before, but these are both men I've seen pregnant multiple times.
Oh my god, what kind of multiverse
has had some very cute babies. And look at Professor X in that pose. I guess his Tina spoke to the masses.
He's gonna die in child labor. Childbirth. Fuck, no, wait. Wait, what? No, it's both. What is right? Huh? What's the difference? No, wait. Both are right. Because you go into labor. So it's childbirth. Wait, I'm confused. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's fine. Both is good. Yeah, okay, yeah. Damn, English. English words.
Next, this is what I'm talking about.
We know who's gonna win.
Versus Starscream. Baby Girl Supreme versus Baby Girl Supreme. This one is really difficult. I want to see them both suffer.
Oh! Transformers didn't win this one. Interesting. Well.
But Reagan took the win. Next up, we've got Bilbo Baggins versus Eraserhead.
I haven't watched the whole My Heroes Academia series, but from what I've seen, the professor is very lazy. So I think he would be very lazy, or like too lazy to take care of the kid. But at the same time, he's a good teacher. I think he ends up being like, I'm so proud of my students. So at the same time, he could be a good mother. I have no clue who the other one is. And he looks like he would die in child labor too. He looks old.
I can sense the maternal energy with both of them, but perhaps the crowd wanted a softer.
Of course, I don't know who he is. I haven't watched The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. Okay, so he won. Okay. I see.
Touch, cause Bilbo Baggins took this. Run off into the sunset with Thor and Bilbo, I beg you. Live your best life and have a horde of hobbit dwarf babies. And now we've got... This is like the Warner Bros. Pick. It's Peter...
Come on. Why? Lucas. It's the duck is called Lucas, right?
B. Parker versus Daffy Duck.
Daffy Duck, okay. Daffy Duck. Which duck was called Lucas? I don't remember. I think I swear there was a duck called Lucas. Oh, it's the one from the candy, the Mexican candy. Okay, Daffy Duck definitely wins this.
Peter looks off guard here, like, who? Me? Pregnant? Well, Daffy's clearly already embraced his role. That Spidey sense can't prepare you.
What? But I've seen Looney Tunes, and the way Daffy Duck act sometimes is so mother-like.
For everything,
I'm
though,
surprised.
Peter, 'cause you won. Go get him, Tiger. And then we have Stan Pines versus Logan.
Bro. I mean, with what they have said, they have seen the Marvel characters pregnant. I guess in some kind of multiverse, Logan has been pregnant as well then, but I just can't see, like, personally, I can't see him pregnant. Like the Deadpool and Wolverine ship, Deadpool is the one that's getting pregnant. Okay. But here, like the grandpa wins this.
Or Wolverine. Both kind of sweaty and stinky in tank tops. Stanley's already got a head start on the bump here, but Logan took the win.
What? In any Thunderbolt, it's hard to bet against Grunkle Pines. Why?
Round 4, bracket 1. Megatron versus Liu Binghe from Scum Villain.
Okay, you know who looks more breathable here. Yep, we all agree. It's the one on the left. No, I'm just kidding. The one on the right, definitely.
Oh my god! Okay, it was really close. In my humble opinion, they both deserve to be pregnant, okay? I mean, look at them. But Megatron took this one by...
Oh, damn, barely. The Scum Villain self-saving system. Fisher Grunkle Wonder Sexy Man. What? Tumblr? I need to have a word with the people on Tumblr. Okay, so yeah, anyway, we knew Megatron was gonna win, but personally, I think Liu Binghe looks more breathable. I need to save this. The Scum Villain self-saving system. Wait, I feel like I'm watching. Wait, is this the one that's on Crunchyroll that has like a 3D animation? If it's that one, I am watching it. But if it's not, I'm reading it.
Little bit.
It suddenly ends. Oh, suddenly. Okay. What is Jace doing here?
Reagan from Mob Psycho versus Jace Talon.
Okay, this is just to make him suffer. Jace gets pregnant.
From Arcade. Oh no! Baby girl versus baby girl. Ah, damn it!
Okay, but he's not getting pregnant. Okay.
This might get me in trouble with some people, honestly, but I don't care at this point. Personally, and this is just my preference, if you have a different opinion, that's totally fine. But personally, I like it when Victor's the one having the babies.
Yes, that is complete. Because, yeah, I ship Jace and Victor, and obviously Victor would be the one having the child. But, like, out of those two, just to see Jace suffer. But yeah, definitely Victor out of Jason and Victor. Yes.
JVIC. I have seen some really nasty fights break out in the JVIC fandom where people get really nasty over who's the one getting pregnant. I'm like, guys, this is supposed to be fun. For Reagan, I think he's just built for it, to be honest. That con man sure can mother. Literally, look how breedable he is. I will impregnate him for the good of humanity. I haven't seen people drawing him with period cramps in a while. Surely that must mean he's pregnant. Wei Wuxian versus Shaw.
Wuxian is getting pregnant! Okay. Daddy Wuxian, okay?
Shockwave, I love you, but my man needs his lawn babies.
Yes, Wei Wuxian won. Yes, definitely, 100%.
For bracket 2. Oh my god. Bruce Wayne versus Will Graham.
Okay, the one on the right wins here. I just can't see Batman getting pregnant. No, impossible.
Autumns. Clark and Hannibal are anxiously waiting.
Oh, 50-50. Okay, well, they are both getting pregnant.
Oh my god! It's a course these two would tie. Nicholas D. Wolfwood versus the 10th
You see the difference? What makes this difficult, actually, it's not the difference. What makes it difficult to vote for one is that they're comparing a live person and a 2D person. It's so hard, okay? Because animation characters, they look breathable no matter what, while live persons, some look breathable, some not. Like, we need all the lamb babies. Yes, please. But as I was saying, that's what makes it difficult. Because here, if I only look at the one on the left, he looks like a top. If I only look at the one on the right, he's a switch. He has the potential to be top and bottom. But if I look at them together, I have to choose. It's the one on the right. I'm sorry, live person, but yeah, you look more like a switch, so the doctor would be so funny about pregnant. So it's a doctor. Okay, doctor, it's safe for you to be pregnant because you know how to act, what to do when you're pregnant. So I vote for you. Because the guy on the live, he looks way too much like a top.
Doctor,
Not that kind. Any doctor though, any doctor knows. Any doctor knows. Actually, every single person knows how to be pregnant. I hope.
To get them both pregnant, man. But oh my god, this was.
Oh, it's Doctor Who. So that's why I meant that, not that type of doctor. I've been wanting to watch Doctor Who, but I just haven't gotten in the mood, to watch it. But I've seen some clips of it. I actually have it on my to watch list. That's super long, but I need to start watching. Yeah. But Doctor Who won. Okay, my win.
So close. This was like a hair. The 10th Doctor ended up taking this win, though. Nick, I'm sorry. You're sleeping on the couch tonight. Dr. Eggman versus Cosmo.
No! Not Cosmo! Why? Why did they do this to Cosmo? What did he do? Damn, who? I mean, I don't know Eggman. I only know he hates Sonic. That's the only thing I know. Difference in their expressions, yeah. Doctor? No. No, yeah, he's Dr. Eggman. Mr. Eggman. I don't know. Eggman is like, oh my god, you have a child. And Cosmos is like, my baby is finally here. Honestly, I think Cosmo would be a preg. Yeah, definitely.
Cosmo was canonically pregnant already, so I won't be mad if he doesn't get pregnant again. Yep, Eggman took it. I mean, one of your eggs has to be viable, dude. Stone can put in the work. Astarion versus Odysseus from...
So the one on the left side was the reason why I wanted to play the game when it came out. But I don't know. He looks like he's a beautiful man. So I don't know, but like the one on the right is like He's going through a lot. I don't know. I think beautiful guy.
Epic the musical. Yo, Odie has a strong.
Oh. Okay, well, beautiful man is not getting impreg.
Lead here. Look, this is less about needing Odysseus to be pregnant, though I'm not disregarding the idea, and more about believing that Penelope of Sparta is the OG. If any woman could knock up her husband, it's her type of woman. And Odysseus would be 10,000% down for it just because it's Penelope asking. Honestly, Asterian's probably relieved. And bracket 3. Shan Qinghua from Scum Villain.
No! No. Wait, who is the one on the left?
Versus Hua Cheng.
No, wait. Wait. What's the name?
Shan Qinghua.
Shan Qinghua. Definitely breedable. Hua Cheng is the one thirsting hard into. I'm shutting up.
From Scum Villain versus Hua Cheng. Is the mouse or the Ghost King gonna end up getting knocked up here? Shan Qinghua. Oh, Godspeed, man. I mean, look at the size of your husband. He deserves it for his crimes against women.
Hua Cheng is more breedable. Sanlang than Asuka. Yeah, definitely. Still top, but definitely more breedable than Sanlang than Chang. Yeah. It's pretty much the same like Wushan. When he's young, he looks more breedable than when he becomes Daddy Wushan. So it's pretty much the same. When Hua Cheng is Sanlang, he's breedable, but when he becomes Hua Cheng, then no, he's like yes, yeah.
Porn writer get empregged. Li Shang from Mulan versus Peter B. Parker.
I'm not even gonna say anything here. The thing is, I don't know how Peter Parker from the Spider-Verse is, so I don't know. But I can't see Shang being pregnant.
Let's get down to business. And he did at 51.9%. It was pretty tight, but he did it. In the sequel, when asked if they want kids, Mulan says maybe 1 or 2, while Shang says as many as possible. If man's gonna make promises like that, I need him to put his money where his mouth is and step up. Now for round 5, bracket 1. This is where things get juicy. Megatron versus Ford. And Megatron took
of
the win
course
here.
it
I
was.
voted in this one. As you can see, a lot of other people came forward too. So much so that this poll was put into question, and it turns out that it was indeed botted. Megatron fans really wanted Pregatron to happen, and unfortunately that ended up shooting them in the foot because Megatron was disqualified. No! Dude, just one goddamn thing in this whole poll. Nope, Decepticon lost to the old man. I mean, a very breedable old man to be fair, but Wei Wuxian versus Dean Winch.
Wei Wuxian, Daddy Wuxian. Like you can put Wuxian besides any character you want, but I will always say Wuxian. No matter what, he is the one getting a burger. Hard to fight the Supernatural fans. I don't care. I will fight the world if necessary.
Chester. They're always pregnant online, dude. This is like a rock and a hard place situation. But alas, the win.
What? What? People don't know what they are voting for. They don't know. They haven't watched the Danmei or read the Donghua. They don't know. They don't know. They are ignorant people without culture. Did you notice I got mad?
To Dean Winchester a little bit.
Thank you for it. Let's go.
It's okay.
I can't move.
You put up a brave fight. Besides, I have plenty of fics saved where him and Luncheon have an army of children.
You're petting
Dean
my
is crushing it here.
my pumpkin companion. Who was it? Oh, you pet the guy pumpkin. Oh, he appreciates the fact that it's the closest really surprising with how much rich that. Yeah.
Okay, so because of the Bruce
if I knew about this, I would have voted with every single account I have.
I guess
and
they
then
were
Wushon would
split
have
exactly down the middle, which is hilarious. So it's Bruce Wayne versus Will Graham again versus Charlie Kelly from
the one on the right. I vote for the one on the right.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And the winner was Batman! 0.3% over Will Graham. Again, very close, but can't beat the Bat. He's already a mother of so many children. What's one more? We are now entering round 6, getting closer and closer to that final showdown. Kicking it off, we've got Hawkeye from MASH versus Ford Pines.
I'm not voting. They're both dying child labor, okay?
Man, which of them is beating the odds and getting pregnant? It's Ford. I just love how both of these guys have so much propaganda. Finishing off bracket 1, we have Kirk versus Dean Winchester.
Okay, here I will vote for Dean because he probably is younger. And the one on the left, he looks more top. Yeah, I didn't know Batman was never that good of a dad, right? I know, right? He wasn't the best dad.
Chester, the grandfather of Preg versus the father of it. This is like familial violence. Moment of truth. Who won? It's Dean Winchester.
Yeah.
Oh, Dean, I swear to God, I'm getting tired of seeing your smart.
The only reason why I'm not liking Dean is because he won over Wush.
Army face everywhere. Oh shit, over 12,000 votes. The propaganda is so short for both of them. Bracket 2, we've got Julian Bashir from Star Trek versus Bruce Wayne.
Is Batman gonna win again? Like, come on, no, he does not look breathable. He is not breathable. He is the one doing the pranking, okay?
Oh, Julian took it!
Finally!
9.5%. At last, Bruce has been bested. Finishing off bracket 2, we've got Eggman versus Odysseus.
I'll vote for Eggman. Why? No reason. Because he trained all of those of the Robins who are legally his adopted sons, and Damien, who was his first son with Talia. Bro wasn't best suited for fatherhood due to being fucking Batman. Yeah, I agree. I'm surprised he has he had a child, like actual child.
Oh, I remember voting in this one. This one was really tough. Telemachus needs siblings, dude, and Odysseus took the win here at 50.1%. Really, really close. Bracket 3. We've got Bilbo Baggins versus Quark.
No, The Hobbit. The Hobbit lost. But definitely, I vote The Hobbit.
The winner was
what the fuck was the other one?
From Deep Space Nine. How could you compete with that? Bilbo's propaganda is so poetic, so long. There's scenes embedded here, quotes. Do you get it? Do you see the vision? And then Quark's is just, you know why. You know why.
I don't know why.
Finishing off round 6 and bracket 3, we've got Dr. Delbert Doppler from Treasure Planet versus Aleem Garrick.
I'm just gonna say the one on the left because he already has a family. So, and I mean, I haven't watched the movie or the series. I don't know what it is. So maybe it was him being pregnant. So, and look at his eyes, so warm and sweet. Definitely, material.
From Deep Space Nine. The winner is Aleem Garrick from Deep Space Nine by 50.2%. Really, really close.
I know, right? I don't know what the thing on the right was. It looks creepy and disturbing. Outside of the Batman thing, he was the CEO of the multi-billion-dollar international radio company. Being Bruce Wayne didn't even give him the time to be a dad. I think that's a thing that I see so often with like rich fathers, is that they most of the time are not good fathers because they are so busy. And if they have a child, they are like, Dad, look what I did. And then father is like, I don't have time for this. And then the kid grows up to have a very traumatic backstory and is very depressed and has family issues. Yes. Because the father is so busy that he didn't have time even for the wife. And then worst case scenario, he finds a mistress during work.
He would be so annoying about it, and it would be funny. Round 7, our last round with the brackets before they're all combined in a final round robin. Our last entry of bracket 1 is Dean Winchester versus Ford Pines. Which of these guys is getting knocked up by their supernatural entity boyfriend? It's Ford Pines!
Oh,
For
finally!
Dean, he's the reason we have the concept of Omegaverse. Destiel had part of the development of AO3. This used to be the supernatural Destiel website. Don't do my boy Dean dirty like this. He's been through enough. Misha Collins himself said that if he could go back and refilm the series with Castiel there from the start, Cass would have gotten season 1 Dean pregnant immediately. Dean has finally been defeated. Look how pleased he is about this. He won't be so happy once the baby kicks you and you piss yourself. Our last poll of bracket 2 is Julian Bashir versus Odysseus.
I just say the one on the left. She literally just said his name and I already forgot. Bruce isn't a shitty person by any means, but like bro was super busy with shit, running a company, reading out the mentally ill to protect the city's time consuming. I know I should be hyper disgusted. Yeah, I'm not saying that he would be like that. No, I'm just saying like that's something I see with rich dads, I guess.
Julian Bashir took this at 59.8%. I tried. Odie, you can't say I didn't try. For Julian, he is extremely submissive and breedable. And our final poll for bracket 3 is Quark versus
Oh my god, I don't even want to see them. They creep me out.
We're going to be seeing 2 Star Trek entries in the finale.
Sorry, but they creep me out.
For decades and carrying on the Empress traditions. Love to see it. The winner here is Aleem Garrick. The propaganda for both of them. You know why versus because he would be so annoying about it and it would be funny. We've reached it, folks. Our grand finale. The final showdown. Round 8 in 3 parts. Part 1 is Ford Pines versus Julian Bashir. The winner of our first matchup is Ford Pines at 72.7%. Scientist versus scientist.
Yeah.
There was only one baby. Instead of only one bed, there was only one womb. Part 2 is Julian Bashir versus Aleem Garrick. The winner is Aleem Garrick, 51%.
The creepy guy.
Final poll to determine who is getting pregnant here. Ford Pines versus Aleem Garrick.
But I'm just voting for the ones that are not the creepy guys, okay?
Eric, Gravity Falls versus Star
Twitch,
Trek.
please send Ghosts messages.
Ford Pines!
So people, Tumblr people want to see the old guy be pregnant the most. Okay. Okay. I have no words other than he would die in child labor. He's too old for it!
At 66.7%.
Oh, wow.
I contributed here. Mainly because I think Ford being pregnant with Bill's Eldritch baby is really, really funny. Congratulations, Ford. It's a thing! It's a dodecahedron! But we're not done yet, because bonus polls! There were also 2 polls to determine who has the privilege of fathering Ford's child, because no, it's not just Bill in the running. All the former contestants and the former foes had the opportunity to be the baby daddy. That's right, it's Maury Povich. It's time to play! Are you the father? The wheel has chosen 10 former contestants at random. Now, they get the chance to compete for the privilege of fathering Stanford Pine's first child. Have at it. The winner of this poll was the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who, 35.6%.
Wow.
Oh my gosh! Larry, Moe, and Curly were all in the running. Damn it. Why does this feel so right? It's probably the trench coats. And for the second poll, it's the Former Foes edition, so all the formerly defeated competitors who have faced Ford in the past now get an opportunity to knock him up. Let's go! From the lineup, I feel like the answer's pretty obvious. Who is the second potential baby daddy of Ford Pine's child? It's
Megatron. Of course.
What in the Mamma Mia is this? Megatron, the 10th Doctor, and Bill pull up to Ford's Greek island where he's been doing science experiments for the past 20 years with his kid, and are like, surprise, one of us is your dad! And Ford's like, Jesus Christ, what have I done? I knew I shouldn't have messed around with sci-fi. Ford had way too much fun hopping through dimensions.
Birth control.
Even better is that Ford's kid looks exactly like him, and so there's no telling who the actual dad is. Maybe all their genetic material combined somehow, and then...
The leader of the flipping
Wait, I kinda wanna write the fic now. I love a good AU. Well, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the Great Mpreg poll of 2025. Again, show some love to the Get 'Em Pregnant blog on Tumblr for all of this. If you'd like for me to cover more polls like this in the future, then let me know. They're a lot of fun. Who were you rooting for to win it all? Were there any characters that you were happy to see
I got way
further?
too
Were there
invested
any
in
characters
this.
that you
Okay,
wished
I
made
got
further?
to
As always, if you'd
into
like to see more
this.
fandom, fan fiction, and fan culture-esque
I
videos,
feel like
then you
I said some comments that I would probably regret the rest of my life. I always be haunted by the fact that I said some stuff. We could have had Pregatron. I wonder how that works. How does that work? How does Mpreg work with robots? Like, you know? Surprising. I didn't expect it. So when we get cars are like, they're not. You build them? You build the babies? I don't know. I'm scared to find out. You know. I'm scared. I would just live like this. I don't think I wanna find out. Okay, I don't think. I just stay in the Omegaverse, and that's it. I'm actually not even diving into the Cakeverse. So I'm staying with only Omegaverse. Otherwise, I will fall way too deep, and I don't want that. I have enough. Have enough. Too much. I didn't think that, like, Tumblr is really something. I completely forgot about Tumblr, and I didn't know they had this. Very interesting. I was hoping to see Overwatch though, because I know Hanzo and Lifeweaver would have definitely been there. So I'm surprised, because Hanzo and McCree, or well, Cassidy, they are a ship, and I actually shipped them. Why? I don't know. there was this time I was like, oh, people actually ship them? Why though? And then I saw one fan art. It only took me one fan art of the two of them for me to be like, oh, I shipped them. Color covers a bunch of fandom stuff shares in the other video to Love and Deep Space. Oh my god. Oh my god, I love a Deep Space. Very good game. Let me see. I was supposed to draw, but I got to invest in this. And now 2 hours have gone. And reading Elon next Trump fanfiction because everything. Oh god, no, 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 no. The AO3 rap. Oh my god, not the AO3. The best ship names, and then the Honkai Star Rail adventuring with Dr. Rachel. That's a good ship. I honestly don't know what people ship it. Oh, there it is. An introduction to Love and Deep Space fandom. Okay, I'll let this play.
It's time. It's finally.
I'll let this play. I'll see how far I get with Mali's PNG. I'm just missing one. I have no clue how I'm gonna make it because I have no clue how I made it. The angry one, I have no clue how I'm gonna make it. I don't like it. The angle of the hands are way off. So I'm thinking about just like not having hands and make it something different. I don't know. I'm gonna die thinking about it. But I will definitely live. I'm gonna drive pregnant. Yeah. No, he told me not to. He has told me multiple times not to, so I won't. Sad. But yeah.
Finally time. I have been waiting to yap about.
Oh, by the way, there was a New Year event for Love and Deep Space, and I got Raphael's card. And I think, wait, let me see. I think I got 2. I think I got 2 cards. Or maybe not. As funny as it would be, please don't give Mali the cursed paper. No, no, no. I won't. I will never. He told me not to, so I won't. Also, there is this event now ongoing on the Love and Deep Space because it's Raphael's birthday tomorrow. I'm gonna be playing Love and Deep Space daily for now because the event. But yeah, I am not getting his card this time because oh my god, I really want it because he's a teacher, and I think I have something with Raphael and him being a teacher because damn, he looks so good. I got on New Year's. I got Raphael's card, so I'm gonna be streaming his story. Yeah, he looks great. And I also got, like, not New Year's, but on an event. I didn't want to get it, but I got a Silas card. Okay, I think I only got Raphael's. So yeah, we're gonna be playing Love and Deep Space soon. Because I got it. Because he's looking great with long hair and traditional Chinese clothing. Oh no, Mr. Raphael, please don't fail. It's literally I don't know what he's teaching, probably art or history, I don't know, but he carries you and he kisses you and it's like, I want I want the card! I want the card! Please! But I don't have enough gems. I'm like 10 tickets away from getting it, but I don't have enough diamonds. So I barely miss it. I'm so sad, but that's how it is. At least I got the New Year's one. And I will easily get the next 5-star. I just need to grind for the diamonds. Okay, well, I listen, you guys listen to the introduction.
Boys and all their fans for ages. And wouldn't you know it, how serendipitous. Before we dive further
found
into
out how
talking about
to
Love and
draw
Deep
this
Space and its fandom business, I'd like to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Love and Deep Space. Dude, we've obtained lads, all of them. Love and Deep Space is an immersive 3D romance game for girlies.
Yes.
Set in a futuristic sci-fi world where you, as a deep space hunter, must defend humanity against monstrous creatures known as Wanderers. Explore mysterious, unknown civilizations, unlock your hidden past, all while your own story becomes intertwined with several potential love interests, each with their own unique quirks, backstory, and dynamic with you. Will you fall for your fellow deep space hunter and princely neighbor, the handsome, talented artist you're protecting, an icy yet smoldering doctor, the enigmatic leader of a shady criminal organization, or a possessive colonel you share a complicated history with?
With everyone except for the neighbor and the doctor.
Cutscenes with your love interests that transcend time and space, furthering the intimate and mysterious connections you share with each of them. The lore goes deep, the storylines are engaging and heart-meltingly emotional, and when I say the moments and memories are immersive, I mean capital letters immersive. The high-quality animation, voice acting, and soundscape makes it feel like you're experiencing everything in 4D. Oh my goodness. Yeah, these boys have been making me blush.
Yeah.
And with the game's newest update and banner, you'll be transported and experience love in a fictional dynasty inspired by ancient Chinese history. Magical martial arts, gorgeous outfits, hidden longing, simmering desire. Oh my. There's also a cute new minigame in which you take on the role of a server in a Chinese restaurant, trying to beat the clock as you deliver dishes to hungry customers, and ancient Chinese-style furniture to add to your house in-game. If you're ready to experience love in deep space and romance the fictional man or men of you girlies' wildest dreams, go ahead and click the link in the description to download Love and Deep Space today and get your special event items and memories before they're gone. Celebrate Valentine's Day with some beautiful fictional boys that definitely won't take over your life. Thank you so much to Love and Deep Space for sponsoring this video.
Love and Deep Space, please sponsor me.
Shall we? If you've seen any of these men floating around on social media, then chances are you're well aware that Love and Deep Space is very prevalent in the fandom world right now. Maybe a friend of a friend got really into it, maybe you've seen the ads, or maybe you got tractor beamed and now you're an expert Love and Deep Space player. I feel like initially Lads wasn't super big in the convention scene. Like, I didn't see a lot of Lads merch until like after Silas came out. It slowly started trickling in, and then Caleb came out early in the next year. 2025 is when I think it really kicked off at cons, because then I was seeing fan art for it everywhere. Mind you, this was at American conventions like Anime Expo, Anime NYC, KatsuCon, SakuraCon. I know Lads has been dominating the fan scene across Asia since its release, and its fan culture there has been strong from the get-go. It's a Chinese game in origin, it's very popular in Japan, Taiwan, and South Korea as well, beating out several other popular gacha games in its revenue reports, and the English-speaking market for Lads as a whole is nothing to sneeze at, being an incredibly fast-growing market with the demand for these gorgeous guys. So I first learned about Love and Deep Space through my friend Nadia, Ordinary Dreamer, aka my fellow Voltron Paladin, which funnily enough is another piece of media involving space. And she actually first started playing it back in early 2024 when it first came out. An OG boy collector, if you will. I saw people posting about it online and was like, oh wow, these are very uncanny, beautiful men. Is this from Final Fantasy or like a Kingdom Hearts thing? But she was the one who sat me down and was like, okay, this is Love and Deep Space. And my first reaction was, oh my god, is that Sarah Brightman singing? Christine Daae is singing the theme for your 3D pretty boy dating sim? The next thought to cross my mind was, these guys kind of feel like boyfriend Tamagotchis, eagerly awaiting your affection and interactions in your pocket. You can chat with them, of course, call them, dress them up, check their heartbeat, yup, have tender moments and secret times with them with fully acted out audio drama stories. Oh wow, you can touch and poke and prod them, and and then they can put their head in your hand. Oh, wow, you can study with them and work with them and work out with them? I'm sorry, is that a period tracker? Yup, Love in Deep Space can actually keep track of that time of the month for you. And funnily enough,
like
someone actually did a comparison with Flow,
the
another
ones
period
that
tracker
are
app
like
that's not
feel
dating sim adjacent, it's just solely for period
delusional.
tracking. And Love in Deep Space actually beat out Flow in its predictions. Lads knows its player base. It's like an all-in-one Swiss Army knife for whatever it is you're craving. Need some loving, to lock in on a project, to beat up, to relax with an audiobook? There's a lot to take in with this whole new unknown world of gorgeous men yearning for you across the cosmos. So, as stated before, Love in Deep Space, or LADS, is a dating sim or otome game. And so your primary objective as a player is to romance the love interests, or allies, the lads in LADS. You're not limited to which or how many boys you can romance. There's no set routes to follow that lock you in. So you can experience love with each of them if you'd like, as they never interact with one another and exist in parallel universes or separate isolated storylines. Some people like and try to romance all of the boys fairly equally. Most people have a favorite or two, and then some people like all of the boys except for like one, and that one is the bane of their existence, which can lead to funny shenanigans when you consider the fact that LADS is also a gacha game. Yeah, if you want precious moments with your boys, you're gonna have to grind for it. Love isn't easy, sorry. It's hard work, and sometimes that means going out and battling monsters, farming,
it's not easy, not even in
tickets,
games.
doing dailies, playing special events and banners, all for the chance to have a special memory with your favorite love interest. Memories are also pivotal in learning more about the boys' backstories and connections with you. So if you want to patch together all of the lore yourself, you gotta collect memories to piece together the puzzle, and that involves going out and kicking ass. That was something that caught me off guard as well, the combat, and like, I have fun with it, honestly. I just like hitting
I never did a combat.
and mix in some special combos with cutscenes on top of it. Ugh. And it's funny because you see all the different fans that get really into the game for different reasons. Like, the boys are always present, of course, but then you have the fans that get really into the lore and the world building, the fans that just like the fighting and the action, the fans that like to have a daily routine with cute digital boys to keep you company, provide background noise, and dote on you. It's comforting. The fans that honestly just really want an all-in-one timer tool that feels rewarding when you complete tasks. And then of course the fans that are like, give me my exclusive cutscenes, damn it! The memories, the cutscenes themselves are not explicit. A lot of them are actually quite tender and soft and wholesome. Some get pretty heavy and angsty, but some of them do get quite spicy and have me raising my eyebrows a bit. Like, girl, what are you doing under Zane's desk? The first memories I ever saw in full were from the 2025 Valentine's Day event. You know, when they're all tied up in leather and chains and they're in
yes, I have Raphael.
Love in Deep Space a try. Like I mentioned earlier, LADS really knows its player base.
I remember
it's an
we streamed that one.
delivering you every flavor of romance you can think of. Love in Deep Space isn't just a dating sim. This game feels very well thought out in that these digital boys are companions. Tools, dare I say, to help make the more mundane parts of everyday life, like studying or working out or working, feel a bit more whimsical. Yes, they can even help make that time of the month feel a little less taxing. Yes, it is very indulgent. Yes, it can be corny and cheesy, but it's fun, it's entertaining as hell, and I'm a romantic, sue me. And I've squeaked and nearly thrown my phone across the room while watching a lot of these memories. I don't consider myself an otome game connoisseur or like dating sim savant. I've played them before, like I was really into Mystic Messenger when it first came out.
Mystic
then
Messenger.
It's my #1, and then I played Date Everything fairly recently. But yeah, I'm not usually one to insert myself into fictional scenarios. Like I did when I was younger, and I can appreciate, YN and self-insert stuff now, but it's like, I don't know, like that's not me I'm seeing. YN is YN, that OC is that OC. I'm not putting myself in either of their shoes. And so it took some getting used to with all the first person scenes to be like, oh wow, you're touching my face. You're holding my hands and embracing me and twirling me around. Okay. Some fans actually do see MC, or main character, as her own separate entity away from themselves. It's the distinction between you, X Zane, and main character X Zane. I actually have seen some fans be like, MC's getting in the way between me and my love interest. And like, I get not agreeing with some of her actions or dialogue options, but babe, she's supposed to be you. One compliment I've seen towards MC from a lot of fans is that unlike a lot of other otome games where the main character feels very wilting flower power like, she's a damsel in distress, and she's very bland due to being a blank slate for anyone to insert themselves into. MC in Love in Deep Space does feel like her own character. She has other desires and goals outside of the boys, and in fact the boys help her along in those. And she does have her delicate save me moments as well. There is both. The TLDR with MC is that she's been reincarnated multiple times and shares lifetimes with all of the boys, each of them in a different period of time. Some are very fantastical, some are very dark, but she doesn't remember any of it due to experimentation she experienced as a child. That's right, everybody, we've got superpowers!
I have a friend that told me that I should stream Date Everything, and I was like, should I? Will I get bullied more if I stream it? Because you can even date the fridge or something like that, right? I'm struggling with motivation, making actually playing games difficult, watching is easier. You can date anything. I know, right? Like watching games is much easier than actually playing them yourself. I mean, I am willing to play. Oh my goodness. I will date. Wait, I want to see. I want to see the love interest. What would I want to date? It's date date alive. No. Date and anything. What can I know? How do they look? Kan jag se if I go here and here. How do they look? I want to see. How do they look? No. Okay, so I knew this guy is it's like Lumiere, right? Oh, it's a Wikipedia character. Okay, thank you. There's going to what? No, I don't have. Oh wait, of course I don't have permission. Is it this? The is this thing? Aha! Oh. Okay, yeah, we are not dating him. Okay. We are not dating her. Let's see the boys. I want to see the boys. Is this a guy? Oh. Of course he's dirty clothes. Oh. But I think I like dirty clothes. Oh, Dorian. Daddy. Wait, this game has actually really good looking characters. The Daisuke, he's cute. He's a dishwasher. Fabrizio. Oh! He's a cabinet. Oh, his shirt. I like him. Amir. I like his face. I don't like his clothes. He's a mirror. See what else? Come. Kinda. I don't know. He's a trash cat boy. He's cute. But he's too cute. He's too cute. Cat themed clock. Johnny Splash? Nah. Okay, so I think my favorite is Dirty Clothes. Gabrizia. Dorian. Is this? Yeah, I actually saw him. I was like, wait, it actually looks attractive, but I don't know. It kind of looks scary too. Of course, it's darkness. His name is XXX Shadow Lord 420XXX. Reminds me of the names people would usually use on games in like 2012 or something. I remember I had like my in-game name on Call of Duty was like XX and the name of my dog and then XX again. And now I'm like, well, that was a thing. Kind of cringy to have XX at the beginning and at the end. It sounds like you want to be edgy. Shadow Lord. This is definitely edgy. I see the attractive part of Shadow Lord 420. But not my thing. I don't know. I would be like either Dorian, Gabrizia, and Dirk. Probably Dirk. Not gonna lie. Probably him. Most likely him. Do I have a thing for pretty boys? I think I have a thing for pretty boys. But he's not a pretty boy, but he's super attractive though. I don't know, I'm weird. But yeah, if I play the game, I would definitely go for Dirk and one of these two. I don't know. I need their personalities. The seventh Dateable. He is the personification of the Doors and is voiced by Ben Starr. I don't know what that is. Personality. At first meeting, Dorian comes off as aloof in nature, unable to accept flirtation. Oh, he's shy. Or other advances from the player in favor of friendship. However, when speaking to other Dorians in the house, he seems to have more to his personality that meets the eye. What about Dirk? Dirk is a content-aware character. Harper and Dirk have a relationship that isn't exactly the healthiest. Who's in a relation? Am I gonna be the homewrecker? It could be triggering for people who have dealt with toxic and abusive relationships. If dealing with that kind of behavior in a light way is disagreeable, I wouldn't recommend this one, that's for sure. Despite Harper's constant comparisons between him and Chappie, her former partner, Dirk instead fits into her fabrications of him cheating on her. He does this to hurt Harper just as she hurts. What the fuck? If the player decides to break Dirk and Harper up, Dirk will become Clarence. This version of him is more carefree, though he still holds resentment towards. Oh my god, this is like super dramatic route. And who is Harper? Do we have to fight her? Landry Hamper. So they don't get along because she's like clean clothes and Dirk is like dirty clothes. Do we have to compete with her? Look at her visuals. What the heck? This route will teach me how to break relationships. Not that I would ever do it though. What about Cabrizia? Oh wait, there is a 76 dateable. Damn, he's one out of two of the datables found when interacting with the hamper in the laundry room. Okay, Cabrizia. You have excellent taste. You are a fresh pasta, a plump, juicy tomato, sweet and salty. Okay. The 33rd dateable. He is the personification of a cabinet and is voiced by Sonny Onorati. Cabrizia is a smooth talker and charmer with all the right words to sweep you off your feet. Oh no. Oh no. He'll make me fall for him. He appreciates the beauty of good food, the world around him, and the player, flirting with Cabrizio and reciprocating his affections will lead to a love ending. Aww. Apparently you come pull with what? Okay. I don't know if I'm into a poly relationship, but I will breaking the relationship surely sounds fun. I mean, it's a toxic relationship. Of course, I will break it off, okay? For both of them, okay? Not just because it sounds fun to break a relationship of two fictional characters. Just because I want to have him for myself. Definitely not the reason. Okay, so if I want a freaking super dramatic route, I play for Dirk. If I want a sweet route, I go for Cabrizio. And if I want a, I don't know, comedy or hard rom-com route, I go for Dorian. Like, I would definitely go for Cabrizio. I would go for Dirk just because it sounds interesting and see how things are. Because I'm nosy. Dorian, he's so mature. He looks good. I like piercings on boys. So yeah, fuck. No, why did I see this? Now I really would. I want the game. Pretty sure the whole game is voice act. Perfect! I don't have to ruin the game. Hopefully, I only need to read what I say if I say anything. That's enough to ruin the game. Think. Yeah, I mean, at least they are boys. I mean, the dudes. What is it? What the fuck? To be announced, to be announced, to be announced. Damn. His name is likely reference to Dante's Inferno. The casting of Dante Basco as the fireplace is possibly a nod to Dante Basco's role as Zuko in Avatar The Last Airbender. Oh. Okay, so not everyone is voiced. Yet. Oh, we got the three that have voice actors. Yeah. Let's see the trailer.
the eyes, but with the heart.
My ears.
Perhaps that's why it turns up where you least expect it. Wait, so you're telling me you can date everything? The washing machine, the chair, the refrigerator?
Time for a snack.
This door, that door,
Oh.
even front and back door.
What are you looking at?
The fan, the wall, the microwave, the toilet, the dust bunny behind the couch.
What the fuck?
All right then. The curtains, bed, treadmill, mousetrap, dishwasher, desk,
Whoa.
piano, dirty laundry, clock, candelabra, the TV, bath, towels, rubber duck, shower, floor, ceilings, shelves, ironing board, trash can, air fryer, vacuum cleaner, the devs, a glitch in the game, the game itself, the shadows, water, earth, fire, air, your overwhelming sense of existential dread. You can even date the kitchen sink.
Everything leads to
So remember, love isn't where the heart is told to look, but where it dares to wander. Date everything out now.
Wow. Fuck Dorian. Oh my god.
Team 17.
Gosh.
You seriously
This
have magic
chord.
date furniture fuck classes?
Look, their name is Sam. It's me.
Hey there! Your life is about to change. Hope you're ready. I'm a pair of Dateviator glasses. My name is Skylar Specs. My lenses have special properties. They allow you to directly acknowledge a thing's existence, or date. You see all the things around your house, things you might have taken for granted? Now you have the power to get to know them better. A lot better. In fact,
Wink, wink.
let's go on a date right now. Go up to a door, any door, put on the Dateviators, and shoot some cool beams at it. Pew, pew, pew! After
Oh.
awakening an object for the first time, you get to speak with them here. You get to speak with each object once per day.
What?
Sometimes when you reach a certain level of affection with a dateable object, your relationship status changes. There are 3 statuses: love, friendship, and hate.
Oh gosh.
Love can get you towards some really special paths for those you are truly interested in.
But it's not necessarily the best of the options in my mind.
Dorian is a
Oh.
big defender of friendship.
If everyone were friends, the world would be an awful lot safer, in my opinion. I've seen the complications of love.
I like
I've
his
lived through the
accent.
jealous quarrels of hate. The true bond is one between 2 friends with none of the intricacies of romantic tension.
That's our bouncer Dorian talking, but you can go toward whichever one you like. Even hate, which isn't my fave personally.
You speaking of Reggie?
Ugh, don't remind me.
Human, you seem like a good sort. So we'll be friends. For now.
Oh, so cute.
Feels good, yeah? But friendship gets you even more than that. I call it.
He's the voice of Clive in Final Fantasy. I am playing that game now for Jay. I wanted to stream it, but it's too heavy for my PC at the moment. He's the voice of Clive. That's why I like the voice. Hey. We're going for Dorian.
Specs points. Each dateable object has points to give whenever you achieve an official relationship status with them. Get more of them to be able to choose some more advanced
Oh
options.
my.
But really, there's no going wrong here. Talk to anyone you want, in any order you want. You're basically in a big, huge sandbox open for you to play in. So, are you ready to start getting to know everyone around here better? Maybe finally find some love?
This is totally a dream. It has to be.
Sup, baby? Nice ass.
We've known each other for a real long time now, but we ain't ever been properly introduced.
Name's Hoover. The friends
Hi.
just call me Hoover. Now that we are introduced, we must get to know each other.
But I honestly never thought I would have something for Italian accent.
Did you just ask your water heater what she does?
Oh, how dare you!
The polishing of my knob is a sacred art.
What are you
My
doing?
apologies.
We got no chill.
Now we're dating. That means that you need to follow certain rules.
Okay.
Why would you do that?
Memoria gives you a kiss that is sure to land
Whoa.
in your own romantic hall of fame. A true old-timer.
There's time for all that later. Right now, we do violence.
Oh.
So you're saying there's a chance?
What?
Date everything.
It is like nothing I have ever
Oh,
known
whoa,
before.
whoa.
Characters that make you want to fall in love.
Art thou ready for our date? Placeholder text? Where? Let me at it! We here at Sassy Chap Games LLC are sticklers for quality.
Sassy Chap Games.
Ta-ta. There are only 2 trailers, right? Yeah. Damn. Wait, I have a friend that has this. Who... I see. Please to send the code. I need some alone time with Dorian. You can send it to my email. I will. Was it? I will. Was it? Was it? I will. I will put in the code after stream. Dirk, for the fans, I'm gonna do your route. Cabrizia, I'll do your route if I want to feel all happy and fluffy inside. And Dorian, you're adorable. That we are friends now. For now, that really got me. Okay, we're doing your route first. I need to finish. Wait, how long have I been streaming for? 3 hours. Oh my god. We're rushing now. We are definitely gonna be rushing.
Or evils. Our evil as MC is resonance, or an amplifier that can match, manipulate, or suppress energy, which
Let's
means
continue
that when the boys use their
drawing.
evils in battle, we can make them stronger. She's also got what's called an aether core fused to her heart, which is what allows her to respawn essentially, and so she was studied and tortured and kept dying over and over again during the process. Yeah, there's a lot of trauma in Love in Deep Space that's a common byline for all the characters, so if you decide to play thinking it's all head pats and warm hugs, oh, honey. Love in Deep Space? Love and depression. Okay, the moment I'm sure many of you were waiting for. The boys. As mentioned earlier, there are 5 potential love interests for you to romance, although a 6th one is over the horizon, and each of them has a different shtick or tropes attached to them. The first 3 original boys to be present when the game first released are Xavier, Zane, and Raphael. Xavier is your dependable boy next door, literally he's your neighbor and also co-worker, and oh yeah, he's also kind of an alien, and he's a very sleepy boy. You'll always catch him dozing off when he's just chilling in your house. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the boys just kind of chill in your house. Next up, we've got Zane, the cold, distant doctor that looks after your heart condition. But he's not distant on purpose. He really cares about you. It's just, he can't be too close to you, or else. I feel conflicted about Zane because I'm not a huge fan of the kind of like stoic stern types in dating games. I want someone fun with charisma and energy to burn, but damn it, Zane is really cute. Looks-wise, he's very much my type, so... And then we have Raphael, our pretty boy artist mermaid prince. I want to be part of his world, if you know what I'm saying. And then we have Silas, who was released in summer of 2024 and looks to be a bad boy mafia boss-esque villain, but actually has a secret soft side and calls you kitten. He's also a dragon, which, you know, me being a monster lover makes him my personal favorite, fork found in kitchen. And our most recent addition to the husband Pokeball is Caleb, your adopted brother / childhood friend, depending on the the translation turned super soldier colonel, who came back wrong and is obsessed with you yandere style. He's playful, boyish, he's got that jockish charm to him, but there's a dark side beneath all of that. He's kind of like the inverse of Silas in a way. Like, Silas outwardly looks very, like, dark, mysterious, a no-do-gooder, whereas he's actually got a lot of fluff in him, while Caleb looks very good boy. He's got freckles, his voice is very sweet, but something uneasy is lurking underneath the surface, and you gotta be careful. As for which boys are more popular, you know, who's the #1 love interest, what's their rankings, it really depends on the region. Raphael is really big in China, he's the face of the game after all, and he has been recognized as the #1 otome game character in 2025.
Yeah.
Xavier is very popular in Japan.
That's probably
and
the one
Korea
I'd
for his
date because
princely
he reminds me of a
demeanor,
friend.
and many of the most dedicated spenders for lads are Xavier fans.
Yeah.
Zane is pretty
I know,
popular
I would definitely
internationally
date
across the
Raphael.
board. Silas is very popular in the West with English speakers, and Caleb, while he is the newest, is also quite popular in the West. He's always trending on Twitter for various reasons we'll touch on in a sec, and he's actually the most popular of the love interests on AO3. And speaking of the fans for all the boys, it's interesting to see how they differ amongst each other. Raphael is appealing to fans who want something very otherworldly, fairy tale-like, with drama, emotions running high. His evil is fire, funnily enough, despite all the water imagery with him. It's supposed to be kind of like an underwater volcano ready to blow vibe. Xavier embodies the steadfast protector role, so he attracts fans who like soft devotion and something more low-key, always lighting the way for you. Zane is a tsundere, so anyone who likes putting in the work chipping away at that icy exterior to see how he really feels will enjoy his more mature and professional energy. Silas is all about the thrills, think danger, espionage, kind of enemies to lovers vibes, but also not really because Silas has always been devoted to MC, but the sophisticated bad boy image is certainly present. He reminded me a lot of Damon from Vampire Diaries when I first was getting to know him. The crows certainly didn't help. Love you, Mephisto. And Caleb offers the classic childhood friends to lovers dynamic with a kind of intense possessive twist that makes it feel like he's ready to devour you whole like one of his apples. In regards to the greater fandom community, it's hard to shove it all in a nutshell because, again, it varies so much across regions, and there's also differences between social media platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, TikTok, Weibo, but very generally speaking, it's an incredibly active fandom with more and more new fans pouring in by the day. Fan art, fanfics, fan theories, edits. If I had a nickel for every Love and Deep Space audio that went viral on TikTok, I'd have at least a couple nickels. And speaking on the fanfiction real quick, I was quite surprised when all of the love interests from lads made appearances on multiple top ships of the year spreadsheets for AO3. Caleb being the most popular, and then Silas, and then Zane, Raphael, and finally Xavier, which is quite remarkable considering that most people don't consider AO3 to be a hub for self-insert content. There's still a lot of it on the site, don't get me wrong, but when you think YN or self-inserts, you think of like Wattpad or Tumblr usually. What I really love and appreciate with this fandom though is just how involved the fans are with each other, especially when it comes to organizing real-life events and meetups. Themed cafes with special drinks and snacks, cup sleeve events, photo ops and booths where you can interact with cosplayers, merch exchanges and artist alleys, tea parties, balls, galas. I think that's a lost art form for a lot of fandoms out there. Like, the whole point of fandom is that you're trying to build community with other fans, right? Exchange fan works with each other and just have other people to share the love of this piece of media you all adore. And so it's really touching and sweet seeing it go so strong in lads. Granted, Eastern fan culture has always killed it in terms of fan organized events and engagement, but seeing it spread so successfully to the West with lads is awesome. Like, I'm constantly getting recommended LA Love and Deep Space meetups on Instagram for the characters' birthdays or banner-inspired happenings. And for some folks, you might be thinking, oh, well, aren't they just fighting over the boys? Like, Zane is my boyfriend. No, he's my husband. In actuality, it resembles idol culture a lot, like with biases and stans. There's someone they find aesthetically attractive or admire, but they're still a fictional character. For the vast majority of fans who are, you know, normal people, it's an appreciation for the boys. For some, it's like enjoying looking at a nice piece of art or reading a cute story. For others, it's playing pretend, like when you were a kid dressing up and proclaiming you were a princess ready to marry the prince. Again, kind of like a Tamagotchi you can play with and then put in your pocket when you're finished. And with lots of other fans in the same boat, you're part of something that brings you and other people with the same interest together. Isn't that kind of the best part of fandom? One of my favorite things to come from the lads fandom is seeing older women in Facebook groups go all out in their dedication to their favorite love interests. It's so cute. Absolute mad respect respect. It's been neat seeing fans across a wide age range. Like, you'd be surprised how many moms play lads while their kids are napping or at school. There is some tension sometimes between younger fans versus older fans. Like, younger fans saying that older fans shouldn't be playing lads, but also, like, older fans have the money to burn on lads, so maybe they're just taking out the frustration because they can't get the cards they want. But as we are on the topic of idol and stan culture, that does come with some drawbacks in fandom as well. There is fighting sometimes over which love interests are the best, which are flops, and which are, you know, breaking in the money. Comparing the boys, so-and-so is better, here's why, you're wasting your time if you romance him. There's the free-to-play fans versus the fans that insist you gotta spend money. There's occasionally friction over players who only play the game for their favorite love interest versus players who believe you should play the game for all of them. Kind of like a solo stan versus OT5 debate. It's a little ironic sometimes too when there are fans who get possessive over their love interest and brag about how much better they are than the other boys. If other fans are then like, okay, well, you convinced me, I'm switching over to the better love interest, they'll be like, wait, no, he's mine. You can't love him like I love him. And then we can do some of the more controversial aspects of the love interest themselves.
Not allowed to
Love in Deep Space is not a manual for how to be in a healthy, squeaky clean relationship. Like a lot of romance media out there, it's fantasy, storytelling, an otome game meant to engage you, and sometimes there is stuff that makes you go, but you keep clicking because you want to figure out what happens next. And yeah, all of these guys have got some issues, and you've shared multiple lifetimes with them after all. Raphael can come off as a manipulative brat who stalked you. Xavier is secretive, jealous, and can be controlling. Zane is often considered to be the most normal of the boys, but has still done some shady experiments in prior lifetimes. Silas, the Dom Daddy, kidnaps you, and as a criminal leader has killed people. And with the differences in romance tropes with Eastern versus Western audiences, sometimes translating that over can lead to confusion or even hostility amongst fans. Caleb has a metric boatload of analyses on him, dissecting the adopted siblings, but also kind of not really. It's complicated shtick he's got with MC. He's often called the biggest red flag of the boys for his forceful demeanor, and more recently had a lot of debates surrounding him following his dialogue calling MC little sister. For a lot of
and
fans,
that's in
Lads
China. That he called her sister in Chinese. In China, you call almost everyone sister, if I remember correctly. If you're older, you call the girl sister. It's not because she's his sister. It's because they grew up together and he's older. It's like in Japan, they'd be like, leave it to Anne-chan, okay? It's just because he's older. It's not because of other things. Like, people just make it weird. It's literally people. It's not weird. It's cultural difference. Accept it.
Game or gotcha game even. And so first-timers navigating everything, you know, baby's first fandom syndrome can cause friction with other fans. That all was about fandom infighting, but there's also fandom outfighting. And a lot of the time it just boils down to guys being dicks to women online. Something brand new, what a shocker, right? A lot of guys call lads the gooning game for women, despite many of them playing much more risque games themselves. They call it frivolous and silly for catering towards a female-oriented audience, saying it's dumb and pointless, despite, you know, the massive amount of money it's made. It's unfortunate, but not surprising considering video game spaces. But thankfully, most guys who have girlfriends who play lads are pretty chill about it, being supportive and sometimes even finding ways to get involved with it themselves, which is a very thoughtful and easy way to get brownie points with your partner. Like any other fandom out there, finding the right crowd of people, your people, is key to enjoying yourself here. And again, I'm just amazed that fans are able to foster community IRL for this game.
Things like
I've just been chilling on the sidelines for the past year and a half, but it's about time I go deeper into Deep Space, I think. Who knows, you might find me at the next Silas Cup Sleeve event. Well, thank you so much for watching this brief overview into Love in Deep Space and its fandom. I'd love to do a deeper fandom dive at some point, going into stuff I wasn't able to get to in this video, and so if there's anything you want me to include in that, then let me know. I also want to film a video where I make my brother react to Love in Deep Space memories, so if you're interested in that, then stay tuned. As always, if you want to see more fandom, fanfiction, and fan culture-esque videos from yours truly, then feel free to subscribe. And if you want to check out my fanfiction recommendation spreadsheet with over 1,000 fanfics on there, as well as watch exclusive videos you can't find on my channel, then head on over to my Patreon or YouTube memberships. Thank you all again so much for watching, guys. Happy Love Month, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
Bye.
안녕.
Oh yeah, speaking of a happy love season, I realized that I forgot about my anniversary of V2ing. It was in January, apparently, and I completely forgot. Oops. I wanted to do another karaoke and maybe movie stream, kind of like my birthday stream. But then I completely forgot about it. Yeah. I completely forgot. Yeah, late anniversary. Yeah. Be like, happy, very late, 3 years anniversary, because apparently I've been streaming for 3 years. Well, kinda. I've been streaming frequently for 3 years now. That's crazy. 3 years. I didn't think it was that long. Okay, one. Understanding why you love Caleb. Sort of movie you think? I have no clue. I need to know the movies I can watch. Because I forgot which movies. I really want to watch a scary movie, but then the good ones they are copyright. What is this? The YNXCO TikTok trend is hilarious. TikTok? Oh my, let's watch that. While I finish, I'm almost done. Public domain horror movies is that horror movies from that long were not scary. Exactly. That's the problem. Otherwise, I'll have to be like, wait, how do I do this? Can I do this? Let me see. Let's see. Would I have to do this? Let me see if I can do it. No, I don't know how to do it. Forget it. Oh no, I disappeared. There we go. It's back. The House on Haunted Hill has Vincent Price and he's a... Let me see. I will check that. Let's see. House on Haunted Hill. Vincent Price. Oh yes, he's handsome. Instantly be like, yes, he's handsome. I mean, we could watch that one just because of him. 1959. That's great. That's so long ago. Black and white movies. That's so old. Damn. I see what I can find, and maybe I'll try to see if I can find like more modern movies that I can stream. I'll see. Her Express is funny and in color and has Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee. I am so... I don't know anyone. Christopher Lee. He's not as handsome as the other one. True, yeah. Exactly. Teeny tiny girl. Oh, wow, whoa. What? Oh, jeez. No, not the laptop. Oh, you lost all your... Oops. My bad. Yeah, because I was trying to mess around with the effects, but... Nope. That's not it.
That's spread to
There
Instagram
it is.
Reels,
Okay.
YouTube Shorts, any short
From the
that
beginning.
should probably be done by
It was
Friday
funny.
the latest. He got some good momentum going about a quarter of the way through when suddenly the big boss, your CEO, bursts into your office, your closed office, mind you, with his teeny tiny girlfriend. They crash into your coffee table and all but start making love with their clothes on. You are not nearly getting paid enough for this, but you also don't want to go job hunting right now because the economy sucks, so you muster up some courage and tentatively call out, sir, I need to get this PowerPoint done by Friday. Could you go somewhere else? Your boss's girlfriend, Wyan you think she's called, lets out a small, barely audible whimper, and your boss, the CEO of this proud company, growls like your aunt's borderline feral dog before punching your laptop clean in half. He skulks over to you, towering above you. He's about 6'7", before snarling out, "The only power I want to point is my dick up Wyan's So there's been a trend that's blown up on TikTok recently that's spread to Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, any short-form content platform really, known as YNXCEO POVs. If you're not super familiar with the POV skit genre, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's putting you as the viewer into the perspective or point of view of a certain role, character, situation, scenario. POVs can be funny, relatable, fantastical, venti, outlandish, and in case you weren't already aware, YN is a genre of self-insert fanfiction where YN stands for your name, or in some more dire circumstances, your nightmare. It's a placeholder for you to put your own name into a story so you can become a part of it. Go on adventures, romance your favorite characters or celebrities. It's prevalent on platforms such as Wattpad, Tumblr, TikTok, but over time, for a variety of reasons we'll dive into in a moment, YN has evolved into becoming their own entity, a character that is separate from the reader themselves. In your usual self-insert stories, you're typically meant to be the main character since it's, you know, insert your name here, you, who's riding off into the sunset to have a forbidden romance with whoever the hot fictional character of the month is. However, the YN CEO trend blowing up instead places you in the role of a side character, having to witness and or deal with the romance blossoming between YN, the self-insert, and the CEO, the love interest. YN is often portrayed as a small,
I'm gonna be completely honest. I used to read YNX whatever fanfiction. Mostly YNX, BTS, Jungkook fanfiction. And they were good. They were interesting.
Us with a mannequin-esque design,
I'm
and the
done
CEO,
with that though.
or just CEO rather, is a Dorito with anger issues given human form. Basically just this image. It's poking fun at the giant, dominant, possessive alpha daddy male lead and tiny, frail, helpless, naturally beautiful female lead trope prevalent in fanfics and romance novels. The POVs are often from the perspective of co-workers, service workers, random passerbys, anyone unfortunate enough to cross paths with stereotypical romance leads on steroids number 1 and 2. The memes started making the rounds on social media at the end of November. I could have sworn it was October for some reason, but just goes to show how skewed my sense of time has been lately. And the POVs in their settings have had a lot of range, and I mean a lot of range. The earliest example of the YN CEO trend I could find on Instagram is by I Am Booked. Me on a Sunday working because YN didn't deliver anything this week because she was busy working on a private project with the CEO in his office.
Oh my
and
god.
Over the course of a few weeks, we went from office settings to stuff like this.
Oh,
These
gosh.
videos are usually accompanied by the blood theme from Dexter, also known as the James Dokes is Suspicious theme. His memes and this music and Dexter memes in general have been really popular in the past couple of months, which I think helped along the YN CEO trend. What I find really interesting is that the roles of YN and CEO have a lot of layers. The two big questions we gotta tackle to understand these layers and how they make the trend what it is are who are YN and CEO really, and why are they like that? YN stands for your name, and their whole function is to be a space for readers to step into and insert themselves into a story. In theory, they're a blank slate. They're featureless, genderless, a void that could be anyone. However, in practice, this isn't always the case, right? Specifics can come out through like the color of their eyes, their body shape. Writers can imprint descriptions on them. And a lot of the time, these descriptions can veer into wish fulfillment territory. Many writers of the self-insert genre or self-insert adjacent genres are women, and so YN often ends up taking on this idealized female form. She's curvy with an hourglass figure, but thin in all the right places, big eyes with beautiful long lashes, and the most gorgeous outfits you've ever seen. But it's all effortless and it's all natural, because otherwise she's a tacky tryhard, and nobody wants to feel like a tacky tryhard in their fantasies, right? As a viewer, as a reader, as a writer, you want to feel desirable and beautiful and attractive to a lot of people, and so societal beauty standards end up manifesting. Of course, there are plenty of self-insert stories out there that deviate from this mold or break it entirely, but this mold exists because of all of these stories that feed into it and have created it over the years. And when I say stories, I don't just mean self-insert fics you find online, but just the romance genre in general. Especially in the last few years, romance novels that blow up on Book Talk. There's a saying I see go around a lot in regards to these stories, and it's that these novels are catering to folks that either skipped their Wattpad phase or were too proud to read fanfiction online. And I can see where this comes from. They're cut from the same cloth. Hell, a lot of these books were originally fanfics that were pulled and then published. For straight romance novels, it's an expectation a lot of the time for women reading to put themselves in the role of the female protagonist. It's gotten to the point where some readers, if they feel they can't do that with the female protagonist, complain about the writing and the story in general. All of this is to say that over time, a good chunk of YN self-insert stories veered away from being more blank slate plug-and-play narratives, and instead chronicle the escapades of an idealized, perfect, impossible woman. In reaching this state, sometimes YN's appearance and behaviors can come off a bit unrealistic or unrelatable. It can get to the point where she feels ridiculous, over the top, not like other girls, a pick-me. She's her own character, and not someone the reader can connect to. Thus, YN slander enters the picture, which is an entire genre of folks poking fun fun and ragging on YN, satirizing and parodying a lot of YN cliches. I've made videos before that can classify as YN slander, and the YN CEO trend also falls into this category. It's curious too because people have noted that YN feels different depending on where they are. Are we talking Wattpad YN? Are we talking AO3's YN? Are we talking Tumblr's YN? Or CEO's YN? Ruh-roh, the YNs are fighting! Hashtag not my YN. And these different YNs exist because of the differences in their platform's user bases. Wattpad's YN is the classic hair in a messy bun, in a hoodie and sweatpants, still very beautiful, but less pretentiously, and she's on the bleachers singing fight song. AO3's YN is a freaky who's come for your pickle.
Isn't much the artful dodge and it has so many nice dresses. Ooh, I think about what more modern versions of those dresses would look like.
When they say I'm not like other girls.
I sometimes wonder how
around full circle. It's all connected.
old
the
time.
CEO and YN ex CEO.
There we go. I sometimes wonder how old times dresses would be altered in nowadays. Like, how would people use them? Would they change it in a way that like keep their old style but at the same time look more modern? And I want to wear one too. I would like to have one of those old princess dresses myself. I thought I would be able to wear one in my quinceañera celebration, but I never had one. So yeah. But yeah, old dresses, gorgeous. I will add the Artful Dodger to my watch list because if there is a bell, then it means it's good.
Is the male love interest, and he doesn't have to be a CEO per se, just a guy in a higher position of power. He could be a mob boss, he could be a professor, a military man, he's very rich and wealthy, and of course tall and big. And he's totally completely bananas for YN. She's his little kitten he must protect and provide for, and if he's always horny for her and just her, well, it goes back to the wish fulfillment, right? I mean, the audience wants to feel desirable, like the prettiest person
but
in
it's
the room,
romance. Is it romance? If it's romance, I want to watch it.
He's obsessed with her to the point of madness. It can make him behave erratically or rough around the edges. CEO is so big and strong, and YN so weak and helpless because it's nice to feel looked after and taken care of, right? The world is big and scary. Why not have a big, scary living tank to keep you safe? And the YN CEO trend hyperbolizes the heights these romances can be taken to. Personally, as of late, I haven't seen a lot of YN content on social media in general, besides like accidentally stumbling across it on Tumblr when I'm in character tags. So seeing this trend pop up on my For You page was a funny surprise. Did not expect it at all, and people have been really creative and hilarious with it. So I thought it'd be fun to share some of my favorite renditions of this meme with you, as well as watch some I've never seen before. Let's all be flies on the wall and see what YN and her CEO are up to.
What happens to Dodger Oliver Twists? No. That twist after.
Oh, this is terrible.
Oliver
I'm starting to realize most of these aren't even
like...
YN's fault. The CEO Mafia Alpha Boss is just crazy.
Look, I've said
No. That is commitment to the bit, though. Jesus. Oh, no.
Okay,
no! CEO is John Wilkes Booth confirmed? Holy shit. Oh, God.
That's one.
She's doing her job. Yeah, literally the caption. She's an actual EMT too. This is one of the first ones I saw, and yeah, holy sh.
Yes, Oliver Twist. I watched Oliver Twist. I fucking cried. I hate the movie.
When YN needs a kidney, so the CEO makes me the donor. When YN accidentally cuts her bangs,
I had to watch it for school.
Me when YN gets the position I worked for years because she started.
I was crying at 3 a.m.
God damn. True. Why is this tagged with BTS and Jungkook?
No, not BTS, not Jungkook.
How do you think of this stuff? 4.8 8 million likes deserved. IDKY, this YN and CEO thing started, but it's so funny. She said hating on me is funny. No, YN, don't do it. We love YN. Don't call your CEO. First in my bloodline to see this.
What the hell was that about, YN?
But what are you even talking about?
Don't play dumb with me, princess.
Oh my
You know
god,
exactly
not
what
that.
I'm talking about.
Are you talking about the Uber driver?
Yeah, that filthy peasant.
But all I said was thank you.
That beta doesn't even deserve to lick the earwax from your AirPods.
You're so silly, CEO Sensei Senpai.
No!
This is a fucking joke. I'm gonna teach you who you really belong to.
Well, you know I only have eyes for you, my pale 8'6".
I can't listen to this.
Oh my god,
then
stop.
Get on this counter right now.
Right here? But...
Oh, sorry, ma'am.
Did you just hit me?
What? No, no, it was an accident. I was just no, please, listen.
Who hit you?
Oh my god, I'm trying to find a mention. One of the dresses that I like to find is a TikTok video.
It was an accident.
Tiny Pinterest image. Just a tiny picture.
Oh.
Come on, Pinterest. Oh my god, what the fuck is going on?
Goosebumps from the...
Whoa, whoa. What the fuck is going on?
Why the hell is he Levi? Yeah, I think that's all of us watching these POVs right now. Oh no. Oh no. No. No, no, no. Oh no. I mean, you're not wrong. God damn. Oh no. No. Okay, that's like SpongeBob levels of zoomed in face body horror. Oh. Right in front of her cake? Of course we have pound cake! Oh no! Clip Studio Paint added onto this. I mean, excellent job! Oh shit! Well, R.I.P. The amount of hijab ones are insane. Jesus Christ. Oh no! When YN hates tea and the CEO starts looking at my body! It's just for my safety, nothing personal. YN, you gotta control your man.
When you fuck me, see what the right sound in my chainsaw, baby, I'm not the right one. You shoot me.
Catching so many strays.
Yes, I know the song. I love the song. I love Corpse. I forgot this one.
Oh no. When YN starts crying. Stop! Oh god, why? Oh.
I'm done. Let's
Get
go.
out of the table, please.
Finally.
Jeez. New meaning to infinity, bra. Oh. The Dorito man. He's here.
Now, let's finish watching this. Wait a second. Wait a second. Let me make this bigger now that I'm done. Scale, now where is it? Transform, fit the screen. Is it like this? Yes, it is. Okay. Alright. Well. I'm done. Yes, I wanna quit. Whoa, whoa. Yes, quit that program. My shoulder hurts. That's the wrong one. Yay! Now we can continue like this. We can continue like this. Yes. Oh, it's almost over. And Ryan says her feet are cold, so the CEO steals the socks out.
Not the Packer. Oh, this for some job security.
When your name is Latina, so Alpha, okay? Billionaire CEO starts practicing Spanish in his outfit to impress. Oh my god. You said papito, papito, papito. Oh, that's the dress. Let's see. I like the colors. I like the patterns. Yeah. I would like to see a modern version of this dress. Like this type of dress. Yeah, I wonder how. Like I have an idea of how it would look like, and honestly, if I could do it myself, I would. But I don't know, I can barely sew, okay? It will be like a bit shorter here. Obviously, nowadays it would be like less volume on the skirt. Personally, I will have it the what's it called, the sleeve removed, have it like kind of like a vest. Because for me, sleeves are always an issue. With thigh highs, big boots, and some asymmetric jewelry, yes, like a bit punk, yes. That fits especially this type of dress because of the pattern it has. Yes. And have it like a bit long on the back and shorter on the front. That's how I would modernize it. I'm pretty sure there are modernized versions of the dresses, but it's just the problem is finding them. That's the issue. That's what's hard. Finding them. Very nice dress. Very nice dress. I like it.
I'm gonna use my words to get the out of there. You didn't see anything. I love these scenario TikToks, so let's pretend we're like on a plane or in a laboratory in the
Hey, we are meeting with the CEO and your name.
Why is YN shifting inner seat, and why is the CEO holding remote with no Alpha CEO, what are you doing here? Don't look down, guys, the table's transparent. We need the pavement, we need the pavement. The economy is terrible. What do you mean we're banning paper because YN got a paper guy? Okay, who's slurping their drink that loud?
Oh my
Guys,
god.
I definitely don't see an issue with the CEO and YN. YN has been looking for her pencil under the table for an hour now. So many last comment. Yo, who's making mac and cheese?
Ay, bonito, papito.
Stop it.
Mi alma, ti alma.
There's so many. Oh, you're gonna yourself in the hallway, babe. Sorry. They're not coming out for at least another hour.
Poop in the ocean if you must.
Then you hear the CEO saying it's not even halfway.
Oh my
You
god.
The CEO's wife because she deserves better. Oh, I'm not hungry anymore.
I'm your name's mom, so I think I'm safe. But then she mentions the time I didn't make her favorite food when she was 5. And I'm trying to save my ass, so the only way to do so is... Resub the CEO's mom!
Yes! Yes! The CEO is playing checkers. I'm the CEO's mom. Babe, not the office party. No,
it's
Janet
really
brought her
close to the
famous
CEO
pot
stars too.
roast.
No!
I can't eat the
No!
pot roast when you're
I already know what that is! No! This is really kids distracting the
this
CEO.
audio, dude. All these different POVs are great. Oh, I'm the janitor. It's weird after every meeting YN and CEO have, they need me to clean up the room. Sometimes it's we spilled the glue. Other times it's YN got me a cake. Something fishy is happening here. I actually heard that YN is just using the CEO to just get...
Oh,
No,
damn! The
YN
scenarios
cheated on
people
the
make in the
910
comments.
Alpha CEO
Oh my
with the
god, I didn't know
912
this was a
Mafia
thing!
Alpha CEO from
What
Japan.
the heck?
Upgraded. No way. Guys, I heard the CEO actually has a wife and she's going to fire him because she actually owns the company. I mean, does she need a new
Oh my
partner?
goodness! Wait, what? Oh, wait, I'm head of HR and I'm telling your name the numerous complaints filed against her, but she starts crying, so now the 6-7 mafia bossy or low-key gonna blah. Okay.
I'm going to lose. Babe, I'm so sorry.
Oh gosh.
YN, what the f happened to you? God damn, YN. So Oh.
So sure, and you
Can we ship
die.
all of you together? No, those are some yaoi proportions. I can't. Oh my god. Run, girl.
Oh
run.
no.
Oh my god. Oh, you're not safe. You're not safe.
It's
as his assistant,
sticky!
dude. No.
It's sticky!
No.
Oh my god.
Oh. Oh. I froze at the perfect time.
My dog's here to help me film a bit. Yes, hey yo. Hey yo.
YN CEO is gonna turn you into a pair of slippers if you bark at her, so shh. We're fuzzy.
Damn, jealous even of
sweetie,
the
no.
female
No.
co-workers. Wait, I'm the CEO's assistant and I'm holding the coats when he sings her name, but I can't tell because his eyes the assistant before me. Oh gosh. Making your name insecure.
This is the scenario I came up with at the start of the video.
How weak is this your name character in some of these scenarios? What the heck? Another presentation scheduled, but here I am waiting outside because the CEO got jealous and locked your name.
Video, full circle. I think we're gonna go ahead and call
Oh
it
my
there. Thank you so much for
God.
sticking with me and
I
learning
didn't
about
know
the
this was a
YN
thing.
CEO trend. What are your thoughts on this meme? Are there any scenarios you can come up with involving YN, her CEO, and
No.
some poor side character? As always, if you want to see more fandom, fan fiction, and fan culture-esque videos from yours truly, then feel free
Hey,
to subscribe.
I'm
And if you want to check out my
subscribing.
fanfiction recommendation spreadsheet with over 1,000 fanfics on there, as well as watch exclusive videos you can't find on my channel, then head on over to my Patreon or YouTube memberships. Thank you all again so much for watching, everybody, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
Oh my god. Jeez. Okay, well. That was something. I didn't know that was a thing on TikTok. So it's a good day when Kalei uploads. She's so funny and her videos are actually very good. Like the topics, they're so good. It's so funny. And damn, the fact that she actually managed to watch all of those TikToks. Oof. I could never. I would die. Too cringy. I would have to be like a challenge or something for me because I can't watch that type of videos. Like if it's too cringy, I just like nope, I'm out of here. I can't. I'm not good with cringe. But Anyways, today is Thursday, right? Which means I won't be able to stream on Saturday. I will be away again. I'm gonna go to my parents' house since Dana is back for the weekend. For the week, actually. So yeah. And it's been a while since I last saw her, so I'm gonna go and stay over. So I will see y'all again on Tuesday. Maybe we'll date everything. So yeah. Well, finally managed to finish the drawings I had for Mali. My pen didn't die on me, luckily, thankfully. So yeah, I'm gonna charge my pen in case it decides to die soon. And I'm gonna go eat my McDonald's that I got. My mom came before I started streaming with a burger for me, and I was like, yay! I just ate, but I will eat later. So yeah, I'm gonna go eat and relax and send Mali the PNGs. So yeah, I will see ya on Tuesday. Hope you have a great day and a great rest of the week. Take care. If you feel bad, like if you have a cold, take medicine. Stay hydrated. Eat well. Stay warm because it's still winter. And I'll see ya next time. Thank you. You're welcome. I'll see ya next time. Bye.